Chapter 178. After escorting his companions and returning their crystal cards, Xiao Han once again returned to the forbidden area that was wreaking havoc with demonic aura alone. He wanted to go deep into the forbidden zone. There are still 2 days before the end of the second round. I must train hard in these 2 days and awaken as many demon veins as possible. Xiao Han had a plan. Since there was no one around, Xiao Han activated the demon egg and the demon monarch's palm tattoo on his left arm without any scruples. Endless demonic aura was dissolved and absorbed, allowing Xiao Han to move freely without any hindrance or restriction, like a fish in water. Xiu, eh? Senior martial brother, there seemed to be a shadow passing by just now. It seems to be a participant. A beautiful girl in a green robe said to an old man in a short robe. Don't talk nonsense, junior martial sister. The demon chi in this forbidden zone covers the sky. Those below the 6th level of true chi realm will be restricted. No participant can use their movement skills to run wildly here. Even those participants from the Wuxia region, all of them talented geniuses, will be affected to a small extent. Alright, let's continue looking for the crystal card. We still need one more. The man in a short robe smiled. Bang! A 3-zhang-long demon rhinoceros was crushed by Xiao Han's pure physical strength. The demon corpse turned into rays of colored demon light and merged into the tattoo on the demon emperor's palm. Xiao Han stood under a black hill. The hill was covered with demon flowers and demon trees, and demon fruits grew on the demon trees. Xiao Han stood still like a rock and raised his left arm. Pooh, 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 pooh. All the demonic plants on the hill were uprooted, turned into demonic light, and were devoured by the demonic monarch's palm. Even the hill eventually collapsed into beautiful demonic light, and was devoured by the demonic monarch's palm. Xiao Han struggled along the way. Soon, 1,200 demon veins had been awakened in the demon emperor's palm on his left arm. The demon power was surging violently. A few hours later, Xiao Han arrived at the area where he was threatened by the Wuxia region participant sword chi. Here the demon chi is even more intense. A few hundred li ahead is the core area of this forbidden zone. The 2 mutated demon emperor corpses might be there. Xiao Han nodded slightly. Without hesitation, he used his movement skills and dashed into the depths of the forbidden zone. 20 li deep. They were 25 miles deep. They were 35 miles deep. Wung. The demon egg and the demon monarch tattoo on Xiao Han's left arm that were hibernating in his heart faintly emitted a message that was close to excitement. This message was very subtle. It was as if there was something extremely captivating ahead that was attracting bees and butterflies. The demonic egg and the demonic monarch's palm must have sensed the corpses of the 2 mutated demonic emperors. Xiao Han thought to himself. Just then, Hong, a hurricane suddenly rushed out and a dragon and tiger appeared, engulfing Xiao Han in an instant. A large area of demonic chi was blown to ashes. In the time it took for a spark to fly off a flint, Xiao Han immediately activated the emperor's true chi and used the imperial chariot technique, forcefully breaking through the air and demonic chi. His body swayed to the side, dodging the hurricane. In the next moment, the hurricane blew a huge crater into the area where Xiao Han had been, and smoke and dust filled the air. Oh, kid, you're very bold. You actually ignored the warning of the contestants from the Devil Hero region and entered the depths of the forbidden area. How impudent. Who gave you the courage to do so? A bone-chilling voice rang out. Immediately, a young man in a black robe slowly came out from behind a thick demonic tree. He had a head of black and shiny shoulder-length hair, slanted and straight eyebrows, slender and sharp black eyes, thin and lightly pursed lips, and a slender and tall figure that was not rough. He was like an eagle in the night, cold and arrogant, but also domineering. His solitude gave off a domineering aura that disdained the world. There were 42 true acupoints in his body, indicating that he had reached the 5th level of true chi. Each true acupoint was like the eye of a storm, and the hurricane was raging. With a slight movement of his body, there was a whooshing sound, and the demonic chi was easily blown to ashes. A contestant from the Devil Hero region. Xiao Han completely calmed down and looked at the young man in a black robe indifferently. He directly used his killer move as soon as he met me. Domineering, indeed, a domineering person. Xiao Han glanced out of the corner of his eye and saw a dozen corpses piled up under a bush in the east. Each of the corpses was in a mess, riddled with holes, and died very miserably. It seems that you have killed a lot of people. Xiao Han smiled. Really stupid. The young man in a black robe looked at Xiao Han playfully. There are always some idiots with pig heads who ignore the warning and want to enter the depths of the forbidden area to get a share. They are completely courting death, digging their own graves. However, this time's devil hero trial is really difficult. You good-for-nothings will die sooner or later. It doesn't make any difference if you die earlier or later. Enough, since you have broken in, you are openly challenging the dignity of the contestants of the devil hero region. Now I will give you a chance. Kneel down and kill yourself and you can have a whole corpse. There was a trace of charity and pity in the young man's tone. Xiaohan was not angry but laughed and shook his head. Too strong and domineering. You are completely arrogant and domineering. It seems that the contestants of the devil hero region must suppress and deter other contestants, and don't allow others to resist. Oh, you want me to kill myself directly? What a joke. Well? The young man in a black robe nodded naturally, and his tone was as light as water. Yes, you are right. We, the contestants of the devil hero region, can only oppress others and others can never resist. Whoever resisted would die without a burial place. For example, if you kill yourself now, not only can you have a whole corpse, but we will also not cause trouble to your family. But if you dare to resist, not only will you die without a whole corpse, but your whole family will also be implicated. After the assessment, we will go out and casually destroy your whole family. It is not impossible. At that time, we will be the devil hero, and it will be justifiable to destroy a family. Well, don't talk nonsense. Kneel down and kill yourself. This is the only way out. He said these words with awe-inspiring righteousness. His arrogance, despotism, and extortion of taxes were vividly reflected. Hearing this, the killing intent in Xiaohan's heart was completely out of control. In the face of such suppression, it was impossible for Xiaohan not to resist. Not only to resist but also to kill. I only want to say 5 words. Xiaohan sneered. Oh. The young man in a black robe frowned. What do you want to say? What I want to say is... Xiaohan smiled. You mother****, devil hero tower. A very high floor. More than a dozen old antiques sat quietly in a hall. Their auras were extremely strong and terrifying. Pieces of runes lingered around them, and when they opened and closed their eyes, there were visions of the sun, moon, and stars vanishing. Even the air was about to be twisted into pieces with a little breath. It was extremely terrifying. In the hall, there were gems that produced flickering images and a list full of names. This year's Devil Hero trial has entered the second round, and many young people have died. An old antique smiled slightly. It's okay. The 4 regions and the great wilderness can no longer cultivate young devil heroes who can take charge. The future trend should be completely dominated by our devil hero region. Another old antique waved his hand. This time we have personally trained the most outstanding young people to participate in the trial, and they must take the OC position. These children are all geniuses that we have recruited from all over the world when they were born. They are all geniuses with excellent roots and divine talents. In order to cultivate them, we have spent a lot of effort and resources. Now they have finally shown their brilliance. This year's Devil Hero trial is the first step to their rise. The young generation of the 4 regions and the great wilderness is too inferior compared to them. They are not on the same level. These children are the best in the past and the present. It is extremely difficult to cultivate each of them. They have received all kinds of trials and tests since they were young, and their comprehensive strength is no less than some low-level devil heroes. Although this year's Devil Hero trial is difficult, it is unlikely that children will die. Haha, they will definitely not die. They are the future devil heroes that we have carefully cultivated. Look at their names, they are still shining brightly on the announcement. Their names will never die. Haha, stubborn. You are courting death. The youth in black was completely enraged by Xiaohan and attacked. Suddenly, from the body of the black-robed young man, a giant tornado suddenly burst out, filling the sky and covering the earth, sweeping away all obstacles. It had the power to destroy the world, and in an instant, it covered Xiaohan's entire body. This move was too fast. It was almost faster than Xiaohan's current thinking and reaction ability. It was indeed too powerful. In one move, Xiaohan discovered that the contestants from the Devil Hero region were definitely on a different level from the other contestants. Xiaofeng Hualai, compared with the genius contestants from the Devil Hero region, they were not even worthy of carrying shoes. They were all disciples taught by the antiques of the Devil Hero region. It was true that the disciples were as powerful as the masters. Xiaohan did not dodge this move. In an instant, Xiaohan felt dizzy and his vision blurred. He felt like the world was spinning around him. The hurricane was like a sword, slicing and tearing at him. It made Xiaohan feel like he was about to be turned into ashes. If Xiaohan's flesh was not as strong as a wild beast's, he would have been blown into pieces. However, Xiaohan's reaction was not slow. Just as he was enveloped by the hurricane, his indestructible golden body surged out violently. Golden light shot out in all directions and his bones were destroyed. His flesh surged and his muscles and bones roared. 800,000 cauldrons of strength surged and strengthened the indestructible golden body, forcibly resisting the hurricane. In an instant, it was blown so hard that it sounded like iron being forged. Break for me. The next moment, Xiaohan took out his mid-stage saber intent and slashed. Moreover, some of the hurricanes were forcibly converted into saber intent. Bang, 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 bang. Xiaohan hammered with both fists and finally smashed the destructive hurricane. He took a step forward. What? You're not dead? The youth in black was shocked. This flesh shell? Are you from the wilderness? Damn it. Die. Xiaohan's mind moved and a touch of saber intent directly cut out, extinguishing the void and dominating the world. Boom. The youth in black's attack speed and thinking speed were too fast. He casually threw out a hurricane and annihilated Xiaohan's saber intent. Next, he threw out another hurricane like a machine gun, directly wrapping around Xiaohan. Boom. Xiaohan's body was engulfed by the hurricane again. Let's see if you can still die this time. Let's see how many more attacks you can take. The youth in black laughed coldly. However, at this moment, a shadow flashed past. What? Demonic chi? The youth in black was surprised. There are traces of the demonic race's secret technique. This is... Suddenly, a sense of danger came from behind the youth in black. Boom. A large area of space behind the youth in black was destroyed. The air exploded inch by inch and chi waves rolled. Sneak attack. The youth in black was shocked and angry. However, his reaction was still fast. He grabbed backwards with his right hand. This grab condensed true chi and enveloped the surroundings, causing a large area of the ground to crack inch by inch. However, as soon as this grab was made, his entire body's true chi was sealed. The movements of his limbs were also firmly sealed. Bang! Xiaohan continuously used like an illusion and heavenly demon's divine seal. Only then did he barely manage to stop the youth in black. Xiaohan grasped this rare opportunity and violently punched out with an earth-shattering punch that landed on the black-clothed youth's body. Pooh! A large mouthful of blood like a fountain sprayed out from the black-clothed youth's mouth. His entire body was covered in fine and dense cracks, and his internal organs seemed to have been beaten into a paste. The youth in black fell horizontally and lay on the ground twitching. Blood spurted out from his eyes, ears, mouth and nose. He wanted to get up but he couldn't. However, he didn't die immediately. He looked at Xiaohan with deep hatred and disbelief. At the same time he was filled with regret. I hate you. I hate that I didn't use my ultimate killing technique from the start. I let you take advantage of it. You are proficient in the demonic race's secret technique. Everyone has the right to kill you. Xiaohan continued to sneer and walked towards the youth in black. What are you doing? Don't tell me you still dare to kill me? You dare. The youth in black shouted harshly. If you dare to kill me, there will be no place for you in this world. Get out of this area now, it's not too late. Idiot. Xiaohan stomped on his face with one foot, grinding it repeatedly. Aren't you very noble? Aren't you arrogant and invincible? Aren't you still going to die in my hands? I specialize in dealing with idiots like you. Get lost. You dare to kill me? You don't dare. Don't you know that my master... Bang? Xiaohan stepped on the youth in black's head and it completely exploded. He couldn't be more dead. I don't dare to kill you? Let's see if I dare to kill you or not. Xiaohan laughed sinisterly. Yaoxia Pagoda. An extremely high level. A group of old antiques were chatting and laughing. At this moment, what? My disciple Luo who, his name, actually dimmed on the announcement. An old antique stood up and stared with his eyes wide open. He couldn't believe his own eyes. Impossible. How could the Yao Yao that we trained fall in the second round of the exam? Did I see wrongly? Take a closer look. However, on the announcement, the name Luo who had indeed completely dimmed. It was a deathly gray. Roar. An old antique growled. His whole body seemed to be bathed in heavenly fire. His whole body was covered in red light and runes. Damn it. My disciple Luo who has indeed fallen. Who did it? To be continued, Peerless Tang Sect's latest chapter. Chapter 179. Xiaohan tried his best and finally killed a contestant from the Devil Xia domain. Then he went deeper into the forbidden area. Guys from the Wuxia domain are really hard to kill. If I don't use my demonic techniques and fight with my flesh and true chi, I'll be in a fierce battle. It's hard to tell who will win. Xiaohan knew it very well. However, in this case I have to explore the bodies of the two mutant demon emperors. Awakening the demonic heritage is the most direct and fast way to improve my combat power. Only by awakening more demonic heritage can I compete with the geniuses of the Wuxia domain. Anyway, I've already killed a contestant from the Devil Hero region, and they'll fight to the death. Why should I be afraid? I'll get the mutant demon emperor's corpse and the red card by hook or by crook. Xiaohan was ready to go all out. In the core area of the forbidden area, there was an altar that reached to the sky. The altar was very simple and rough, but its style was very ancient and vicissitudes, as if it had existed for countless years. There were no patterns carved on the altar, but it was stained with demonic blood. An extremely powerful and evil aura surged out, terrifying one's soul and extinguishing all vitality. It commanded the ages and caused the winds and clouds in all directions to change color. At the top of the altar, there were two corpses of ancient creatures. The corpses were releasing the ferocious aura of the primordial remnant. It wasn't clear, but it could be vaguely seen that it was in the shape of a human. It was dozens of feet tall and had hideous wings. Its whole body was shining with a metallic luster and had a strong murderous aura. But there was more demonic aura. The demonic aura spread out like a raging tide. Waves of demonic chi rushed into the sky like ancient flood dragons, giving off the sound of wind and thunder. Demonic sounds rang out, and a monstrous demonic light twisted, forming a brutal energy storm that made it so that no creature dared to get close to the altar. The corpses of two mutant demon emperors. It was really hard to imagine that there were only two corpses, which had existed for countless years. Not only were they not destroyed, but they were still emitting a destructive demonic light and demonic aura. That was too terrifying and shocking. If they were resurrected, the mountains and rivers would be shattered. Killing people and destroying countries could be done with a single thought. In the middle of the two mutant demon emperors, there was a red card, which shone with dazzling red light and rose to the sky. It was very beautiful. There were more than 30 people standing 1,000 meters away from the altar. There were men and women. They were all young people. All of them were extraordinary and otherworldly. He was outstanding and had a heaven-warping divine talent that surpassed the ancient times and surpassed the present. He was no small matter. They were contestants from the Wuxia domain. In today's world, among the younger generation, they were the elites of the elites, the heroes of the heroes. Some of these people looked valiant and intimidating. Their bodies shone with treasure light, and they looked very ostentatious. Some of them were quiet and cheerless, but when they opened and closed their eyes, sparks would shoot out. Some of them seemed to have a world of flames brewing in the depths of their glabella. Some of them had sword auras all over their bodies and they became one with their swords. Some of them had strong physiques and when they stood casually they looked like a mountain. They had the demeanor of a great master, and their pressure caused the air around them to crawl. Some of them had blazing suns rise above their heads, illuminating the ages. With their bodies as the center, all kinds of strange phenomena appeared. Dragons, tigers, and tortoises appeared, devouring the world. Some of them were covered in a sea of holy light with thousands of bright moons floating in the air. No one could compete with them. All of them were peerless figures. However, they did not dare to approach the altar. All of his true chi and physique were deeply suppressed by the demonic aura. This is so shocking. The corpses of the two mutated demon emperors have existed since ancient times. They still have the demonic aura that can move mountains, fill seas, and shatter the earth. We've been waiting here for a long time, but we still can't think of a good way to get close to the altar. A young girl with an otherworldly appearance, who looked like a snowy jade tree, said in a light tone. Forget it. Let's go. We won't get any results if we wait any longer. It's a waste of time and energy. We might as well pass the second test with ordinary crystal cards and prepare for the third test. A young man with an intimidating aura frowned and said, I can't believe the chief examiner put the red card next to the corpses of the two mutated demon emperors. He's deliberately not letting anyone get it. Forget it. I tried to break through the pressure of the demonic aura and get the red card, but my soul was almost shattered by the demonic aura just now. Only those who have reached the 6th level of true chi can approach the altar. Let's go. For a moment, more than a dozen men and women flew away. There were still more than a dozen people left. They stopped and pondered, unwilling to give up easily. Behind a cluster of demonic trees hundreds of meters away from these people, A pair of pitch-black eyes blinked a few times and peeped at them. It was Xiaohan. TSK. Such a strong demonic aura. It can crush people's souls. Even the mountain and sea prison can't compare to it. Xiaohan licked his lips. However, at this moment, the demon egg in Xiaohan's heart and the tattoo of the demon sovereign's palm on his left arm burst out with uncontrollable greed. It seemed that they wanted to seize the two mutated demon emperors' corpses. It seems that my left arm of the demon sovereign's palm can not only absorb and refine all the demon plants and demon beasts in this forbidden area, but it also seems to be able to make a move on these two extremely evil mutated demon emperors' corpses. Xiaohan's heart was burning with desire. Wow. The demonic aura contained in these mutated demon emperors' corpses is thousands or even tens of thousands of times stronger than those demon plants and demon beasts. It's the origin of all the demonic aura in this forbidden area. If I can get it, then it will definitely be heaven-defying. At the thought of this, Xiaohan's heart couldn't help beating wildly like a drum. He really couldn't restrain the wild thoughts in his heart. However, judging from the situation, there were more than a dozen contestants from the Devil Xia domain guarding outside the altar. Their auras were all extremely shocking, shaking the entire land. Their combat strength was violent. Just now, in order to kill the guy who was in charge of keeping watch outside, Xiaohan had drained all the demonic power contained in his demonic vein. Now there was only one demonic vein left that contained demonic power. Xiaohan didn't think that with the demonic power in this demonic vein, he could use the heavenly demon investiture art to seal off more than a dozen geniuses present. It seems that I can only take a risk and use the illusory movement to directly rush over. I have to rush to the altar and take away the two mutated demon emperors' corpses. Wait, there is a red light between the two mutated demon emperors' corpses. Could it be that red card? The more Xiaohan thought about it, the more excited he became. There were more than a dozen contestants from the Devil Xia domain over there. What? I feel that something has happened to junior brother Luo Hu. A young man with a forehead like a full moon and a body that contained infinite light was extremely shocked. When I was young, I cultivated with junior brother Luo Hu. Can be said that our hearts are connected. Now I suddenly feel that junior brother Luo Hu is in trouble. How dare you? Someone dares to attack the contestants from our Devil Xia domain. Suddenly, oh, someone is peeping at the side. Could it be the murderer who murdered junior brother Luo Hu? A young man with evil chi suddenly roared. Don't be sneaky. Come out. Boom, the youth made a grabbing motion through the air, directly grabbing the place where Xiaohan was hiding. This immediately produced a dragon-shaped airflow that shattered the vast sky and locked onto Xiaohan's essence, chi, and spirit. Even the space was torn apart and cracked inch by inch. I've been discovered. Good. I'll go all out. Let's fight. All of a sudden, Xiaohan's body created a few afterimages and directly dodged the grab. Then, demonic sounds suddenly appeared from all directions and demonic aura rose. An ancient demonic clan talisman directly enveloped the group of contestants from the Devil Hero domain. The aura of the seal was everywhere. Divine demon investiture. Oh, the secret technique of the demon clan? But it's just a small trick. A youth slapped out with his palm. Instantly the void warped and changed. Everything was destroyed. A large palm shot out, and there were countless divine runes circling around it. It directly struck the demonic runes, causing them to distort. Puff. Another youth slashed out, sending out a thick beam of sword chi. Thunder rumbled as the illusory image of a lightning god appeared. This sword chi contained traces of a predestined tribulation. As it slashed out, it completely destroyed the demon race's runes. These two geniuses actually joined forces to break Xiaohan's divine demon investiture. However, Xiaohan did not think too much about it. This divine demon investiture was just a trick to delay time. Xiao. Afterimages flickered. Xiaohan executed illusory movement. His body was like a ghost. Afterimages and mirror images appeared in all directions, and he had already rushed towards the altar. You're courting death. A young man directly struck out with his fist, locking onto Xiaohan's aura. This punch was filled with holy light like the sea, raging waves like the tide, as if 1,000 horses were galloping, and 10,000 elephants were crushing. Another young man slashed at Xiaohan. This slash looked down on the common people, and it was no small matter. The long spear in the hands of a young man swayed, and he executed a supreme spear technique. The spear light was like a peacock spreading its tail, pushing forward layer by layer. It was invincible in the world. A group of peerless geniuses from the Devil Xia domain executed a great killing technique on Xiaohan, surrounding and attacking him. They shattered the afterimages and mirror images created by Xiaohan's illusory movement. It also slightly injured Xiaohan's body. Puff, a mouthful of blood spurted out. Xiaohan's aura was slightly weakened, but his indestructible golden body surged, and his whole body shone brightly. His bone text flickered, so Xiaohan was not directly killed. He executed Sky Demon Investiture, illusory movement, and indestructible golden body. The combination of these three techniques allowed Xiaohan to break through the encirclement, and his body flickered to the top of the altar. At this moment, Xiaohan coughed up a few mouthfuls of blood. The series of attacks just now had drained 11 of his one demonic vein. However, he still successfully reached the top of the altar. 2 mutated demon emperor corpses. And that red card. Xiaohan glanced at them and his whole body trembled in shock. How dare you? The group of geniuses from the Wuxia domain was shocked and angry at this moment. They stared at Xiaohan, bared their teeth and cursed him furiously. This kid actually ignored the demonic aura of the 2 mutated demon emperor corpses. He used demonic techniques repeatedly just now. Could it be that he is a member of the demonic clan that sneaked in here? His movement technique is very strange. His movements are illusory and he avoided our attacks. What? He wants to take away the red card and the 2 mutated demon emperor corpses. Under the watchful eyes of the crowd, Xiaohan first put the red card into his true acupoint. Then he lifted up the 2 mutated demon emperor corpses with one hand and the other end. Although the demonic aura of the 2 mutated demon emperor corpses was ferocious and terrifying, the demon egg in Xiaohan's heart was running like a motor, crazily dissolving the demonic aura. The tattoo of the demon monarch's palm on his left arm had also grown a lot, and it could share a lot of the pressure for Xiaohan. Therefore, Xiaohan could successfully take away the 2 mutated demon emperor corpses without being harmed. Hee hee. Xiaohan grinned hideously. I'm not going to accompany you anymore, ha. Swoosh. Squeezing out the remaining demonic power, Xiaohan performed it again. The movement was illusory, and he had completely disappeared from the altar with the 2 mutated demon emperor corpses and the red card. After Xiaohan took away the 2 mutated demon emperor corpses, the demonic aura in this area suddenly became thinner and thinner. Go after him. We can't let this guy escape. He got the precious treasure for free. We must catch him. He must have murdered junior brother Luohu. This hatred is absolutely irreconcilable. He must have a lot of secrets. We must catch him and interrogate him. Also, the contestants of the Wuxia domain have already declared the ownership of the red card, but that guy took it away. This is tantamount to slapping our faces. Unforgivable. A group of geniuses of the Wuxia domain passed through this area and directly chased after Xiaohan. Chapter 180. Xiaohan used 2 demonic methods to snatch food from the tiger's mouth. He took away 2 mutant demon emperor corpses and the only red card under the noses of more than a dozen geniuses of the Wuxia region. Xiaohan was running wildly. He carried the 2 mutant demon emperor corpses in both hands and dashed in the forbidden area as fast as lightning. In fact, Xiaohan even burned the emperor's true qi, and with the momentum of a personal expedition, he tore through the air at a fleeting speed like a shooting star. There were more than a dozen murderous auras behind him. They were chasing him like maggots. This was the most critical moment. He couldn't be caught. Otherwise, all his previous efforts would be in vain. The emperor's natural qi burned and consumed crazily in exchange for a domineering explosive force, which gradually made Xiaohan pull away from the pursuers. But he couldn't let his guard down. Now, the demonic power contained in the 200 demonic meridians on the palm of Xiaohan's left arm was all used up. In his current state, he had no chance of winning against the geniuses of the Wuxia region, not to mention that there were a large group of people on the other side. It was a matter of life and death. Xiaohan's spirit was completely focused, and his life potential was developed and stimulated like never before. Suddenly, puff, puff. 2 crisp sounds came from Xiaohan's body, which was the sound of a butterfly breaking out of a cocoon. The 16th and 23rd acupoints exploded almost at the same time. Xiaohan couldn't help but laugh. At this critical moment, my acupoints exploded under the pressure. That's too bad. Behind him, more than a dozen geniuses from the Wuxia region flew in the form of various strange beasts with their true qi, rode on rainbows, flew on swords, or stepped on light. They were chasing Xiaohan. They fanned out and chased after Xiaohan. Their eyes were full of burning murderous intent. We must catch that kid. He has committed a heinous crime. He must die. Don't worry. I noticed that he burned his true chi along the way, so he suddenly sped up, but this is tantamount to drinking poison to quench thirst. When his true chi is exhausted, it will be time for him to be killed. His two demonic methods are indeed strange, but they are not mature enough to pose too much of a threat to us. He's just a small aphid. Going against us is like hitting a stone with an ox. He's courting death. After capturing them, torture them to death. That's right, after the selection is over, I'll slaughter his entire family outside. Implicate 10 families. These geniuses, who had always been arrogant and unruly, had never suffered a loss in anything since they were young. They had always had the upper hand, but now Xiao Han had actually taken advantage of them. Not only that, he had even killed one of their companions. This caused all of them to gnash their teeth in anger. Their internal organs were burning and their guts were about to explode. They swore to capture Xiao Han and use all the methods they had to torture and abuse him. Outside the restricted area, more and more participants went through all kinds of hardships to find their crystal cards and come out to be verified. There are already 80 little fellows who found their crystal cards and successfully passed the test. Qin Fading Wind smiled in satisfaction. He glanced at the participants who had passed and he thought to himself, these little fellows who were able to pass are all geniuses who possess both intelligence and courage, tenacious willpower, and extraordinary talent. The second stage wasn't something that could be passed with pure luck. All sorts of methods were indispensable. Good, very good. Suddenly, Qin Fading Wind's expression changed and his body trembled. He stared at the forbidden area as if he wanted to see through everything that was happening in the forbidden area. His expression also became strange. Qin Fading Wind, what are you doing? The crippled old man frowned. During the test, some strange things happened. Qin Fading Wind's lips curled up, and his facial expression became very strange. All right, crippled old man, it's nothing. Let's wait quietly. After saying that, he sat cross-legged and closed his eyes to rest. At this moment, what? Junior brother Luo who has met with an accident. His name on the notice has dimmed. What's going on? Dozens of participants from the Yaoxia region screamed in shock and anger. Outside the restricted area, there was also a virtual image of the notice, which allowed all the participants to see the changes of every participant's name on the notice. This caused the participants from the Yaoxia region to see that their companion's name, Luo Hu, had completely dimmed on the notice. It had become gray and lifeless. He was dead. How dare you? Who is it? How dare you attack our people from the Yaoxia region? This is unforgivable. Let's go in and take a look. A group of enchanting people from the Yaoxia region was ready to rush into the restricted area. How dare you? Qin Fading Wind's eyes widened, and a terrifying ferocious glint shrouded him. A terrifying pressure was produced in the air, and with a tremor in the air, the group of geniuses from the Monster Hero region was almost thrown off their feet. All of you stay still. Since you've passed, you can't enter the restricted area again. Otherwise you'll all be eliminated. Qin Fading Wind said coldly. Don't think that just because you're from the Yaoxia region and were trained by those senior heroes and antiques, you can ignore the rules. Let me tell you, even if I execute you, those antiques can't do anything to me. Stand still. Whoever dares to move will not only be eliminated, but will also be killed. Under the huge pressure of Qin Fading Wind, the group of participants from the Yaoxia region did not dare to move. They were silent, but their eyes flashed with suspicion and anger. On the other side, Mo Qingtong, Fatty Zhu, Xiao Yunrong and Hua Fan stood quietly in a corner. I don't know how Boss Xiao is doing inside. Fatty is really worried. Boss Xiao is going to the depths of the restricted area to look for that red card. I don't know if he can get it. However, once he enters the restricted area, he'll definitely encounter those bastards from the Yaoxia region. Given Boss Xiao's character, he definitely won't give in and might even fight, Fatty Zhu said in fear and trepidation. It seems that the people from the Yaoxia region have died. Wu said. Could it be? Junior brother Xiao Han did it? All of you shut up. Mo Qingtong looked around warily and warned fiercely, don't talk about this anymore. Once someone hears anything, it'll plant a seed of trouble for Xiao Han. Xiao Yunrong suddenly smiled. Miss Mo, it seems that you're extremely worried about Xiao Han. Restricted area? Xiao Han's emperor's true qi had been completely burned. He ran all the way and was about dozens of miles away from his pursuers. However, Xiao Han knew that it wouldn't take long for them to catch up to him. It wasn't safe. Moreover, the two mutated demon emperor corpses were constantly emitting fierce demon qi, which made it impossible for Xiao Han to deceive his pursuers no matter how he escaped. I have to find a quiet place to refine these two mutated demon emperor corpses. Otherwise I'll fall into their hands sooner or later and then I'll be better off dead than alive. Xiaohan thought quickly. Moreover, Xiaohan couldn't carry the two mutated demon emperor corpses out of the restricted area to pass the test. In that case, the mutated demon emperor corpses would definitely be confiscated by the chief examiner, and Xiaohan wouldn't get any benefits. After going around a demon mountain, a large black pool appeared in front of him. The black pool was surrounded by demon qi and had a foul smell bubbling. A large number of dry bones floated on the surface of the water. It was very filthy. The demon qi here is very terrifying. Xiaohan's heart skipped a beat. Indeed, in the entire restricted area, except for the altar where the two mutated demon emperor corpses were placed, the demon qi near the demon pool was the most terrifying. In the demon pool, there was an obscure pressure that could destroy the liver and the intestines and shatter the soul. Maybe there are some powerful monsters lurking at the bottom of the pool. However, I'm in a precarious situation now. I can only take a risk. Xiaohan couldn't help but look back. More than a dozen ferocious auras were chasing him. They were getting closer and closer. There were only a few kilometers left. Damn it, I'll take the risk. Xiaohan gritted his teeth and directly jumped into the evil pool. Puchi, Xiaohan sank. As soon as he jumped into the evil pool, Xiaohan activated the spirit turtle true qi to seal his eyes, ears, mouth, nose, and body as much as possible, so that the water in the pool wouldn't drown Xiaohan's 7 orifices and pores. Soon Xiaohan was in a state of suspended animation. But his mind was clear. He felt like he was on a mental journey. The water in the pool was extremely deep. Xiaohan sank for 1,000 meters before he stepped on the rocks and mud at the bottom of the pool. There were no terrifying monsters in the demon pool. The one who caused the demon pool to be filled with monstrous demon qi was a huge mutated demonic lotus that was fermented by demon blood. It could be more than 30 meters tall, which was extremely strange. Xiaohan didn't touch the demonic lotus. Instead, he sat cross-legged at the bottom of the pool and placed the two mutated demon emperor corpses under his feet. He observed carefully. They were the corpses of two terrifying creatures. The demon qi they gave off could shatter mountains and rivers. However, the two mutated demon emperor corpses were not complete. There was a hole the size of a bowl between their eyebrows, as if something precious had been dug out. Oh, I got it. Their demon emperor crystals have been gouged out. Xiaohan immediately understood. Thinking about it, it makes sense. The most essential part of a demon emperor's corpse is its demon emperor crystal, followed by the corpse itself. Damn it, what a pity that the two heaven-defying mutated demon emperor crystals were dug out and divided in advance. Otherwise, if I got them, wouldn't I be able to obtain the skills of the two mutated demon emperors before they died? Alright, don't think so much. The two mutated demon emperor corpses are already great treasures. Let's start refining. Xiaohan calmed down, and the tattoo on the left arm of the demon monarch began to throb crazily. In an instant, the two mutated demon emperor corpses began to be dismembered and melted inch by inch. They were refined into wisps of bright and pure demonic light, which flowed into the left arm of the demon monarch. Refining the mutated demon emperor corpses was indeed a marvelous work. After refining and absorbing a little bit, the dried demonic veins on the left arm of the demon monarch were awakened one after another, unstoppable and unstoppable. The tattoo on the left arm of the demon monarch refined the two mutated demon emperor corpses to its heart's content, obtaining indescribable nourishment. During the refining process, the two mutated demon emperor corpses were wrapped in hazy demonic light, which seemed to block the demon qi. The mist wrapped Xiaohan's body like a cocoon, and he didn't rush out of the deep pool. Xiaohan was completely immersed in this wonderful state of mind. He easily entered the supreme state of connecting with the heavens. The killing and danger of the outside world seemed to be inconsequential. Demon Hero Pagoda. At the very top. More than a dozen old antiques with powerful auras also calmed down after a moment of irritation. Luo, who is dead. He's the first person of the young generation of our Devil Hero territory to die in the Devil Hero trial, said an old antique with a gloomy face. But I don't think the young generation of the 4 regions and the Grand Wilderness would dare to attack the children we've cultivated. They don't have the guts or the ability to do so. I'm guessing that something unexpected happened during the course of the competition. It seems that we're still a bit blindly optimistic. This year's Devil Hero trial is known as the cruelest and most difficult one in history. It really deserves its reputation. Even if there are some minor mishaps along the way, it's still acceptable. The other patriarch was completely calm and spoke in a casual tone. I hope the children will be more vigilant and not lower their guard. I think the death of Luo who will make the other children doubly careful. It's like a warning when a snake bites into the wood. The children are all extremely intelligent and talented. They are both wise and brave and they are invincible. They will definitely advance step by step or even walk on thin ice. As long as they are careful, at least in a short period of time, it is impossible for them to die again. Yes. The old antiques all nodded in agreement. At the bottom of the demon pool, Xiaohan had no idea what was going on outside. He was completely immersed in the process of refining the mutated demon emperor corpses. He was hardy, unstoppable. He won one victory after another. Puff 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 puff. The awakening of the demon veins was no longer one by one, but dozens of them exploded at the same time. As a result, the palm of the demon emperor was surrounded by a jade belt, stars and clouds, spirit rivers and thousands of tributaries. 200025002600300003 300. Chapter 181. Xiaohan sat at the bottom of the pool as if he was in seclusion, quietly refining the two mutated demon emperor corpses. The ferocious and terrifying mutated demon emperor corpses were constantly dissected into dazzling mist and misty light, which merged into the demon emperor palm on his left arm, awakening the demon veins one by one. As a result, every demon vein was filled with beautiful and enchanting pure demon qi. They were extremely agile, but they also contained destructive power. The two demon emperor crystals became even more extraordinary, like the most beautiful gems. With the refinement, the two mutated demon emperor corpses were completely dissected into two balls of energy mist, which were peeled off. I've already awakened 10,000 demon veins. Oh my god. Xiaohan's heart began to pound. 10,000 demon veins were flashing. As a result, Xiaohan's entire left arm was wrapped in an endless stream of demon light. It shone brightly like some kind of treasure. Moreover, the two mutated demon emperor corpses had not been completely absorbed yet. He could still awaken demon veins. Each demon vein contained 100 cauldrons of power. Let alone the demon qi and demon techniques, just the pure power of the demon emperor palm on his left arm was 1,000,000 cauldrons, which had already surpassed the power of Xiaohan's body. If he used it, it would definitely cause a landslide. I actually feel like I'm picking the stars and the moon. I'm almost invincible. Xiaohan was burning with passion. However, under the seal of the spirit turtle's true qi, Xiaohan's aura did not leak out. He was as lifeless as withered wood or rock. Whoosh, 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 powerful auras constantly swept past the surface of the pool, mixed with powerful wills. It must be the geniuses from the Wuxia region searching for him. However, the demon qi of the mutated demon lotus in the pool was as deep as the ocean, which made the geniuses of the Wuxia region unwilling to stay in the area. Moreover, Xiaohan hid his aura perfectly. As a result, they failed to find any loopholes and find Xiaohan immediately. They also made sounds of conversation and discussion, but Xiaohan dared not eavesdrop recklessly. Everything must be steady. He could not make a single mistake which would lead to failure on the verge of success. At the bottom of the pool. Refine, absorb, refine, absorb, refine again, absorb again. The cycle repeated itself. Facing the two mutated demon emperor corpses, the demon monarch's palm tattoo on his left arm was like a glutton encountering delicious food or a drunkard encountering fine wine. He swallowed and drank crazily. Furthermore, as more demonic meridians were awakened, the speed at which the arch palm tattoo devoured and refined the demonic meridians on his left arm became faster and faster. There are 000. There are 501,5100. Great. The number of awakened demon veins had exceeded 15,000. Let's see if we can break through the 20,000 barrier. After the ecstasy, Xiaohan became calmer and smiled. Now, I estimate that there are only a few hours left before the second round of the test ends. I got an ordinary card and a precious red card. Not only will I be able to pass the second stage, I will also be able to get a reward from the chief examiner. That's right, the red card will be helpful for the third stage. Xiaohan was now very satisfied. 1600166600172000. There is not much demonic qi essence left in the two mutated demon emperor corpses. Absorb and refine it as soon as possible. Xiaohan calmed himself down. In the forbidden area. On the peak of a demon mountain. After chasing Xiaohan for an entire day and night without any results, The dozen or so geniuses from the demonic hero region finally gathered together in a somewhat dejected and frustrated manner. Their bellies were filled with venomous resentment as they negotiated and negotiated. How is it possible? We have searched the forbidden area and almost couldn't find any trace of that guy. The strangest thing is that the monstrous demonic chi of the two mutated demon emperor corpses is also nowhere to be found. That guy evaporated from the forbidden area. The mutated demon emperor corpses disappeared mysteriously. Did he swallow them? The only thing we can conclude now is that he hasn't left the forbidden area. Then what should we do now? Should we leave the forbidden area and go to the chief examiner to pass the test, or continue to search? Continue to search thoroughly. Search every inch of the way. There must be a shocking secret on that guy. Think about it, he could hide by himself, but he was able to hide the two mutant demon emperor corpses so perfectly. It's impossible for the mutated demon emperor corpses to hide in the true acupoints. Otherwise, when the demonic chi collides with the true chi, the person will go crazy and may even explode and die instantly. The storage ring can't even contain the demon emperor corpses, so where on earth is he hiding them? Does he have any heaven-defying treasures? I think he probably does. Therefore we must find him, even if we have to dig 3 feet into the ground to find him and force him to tell us all his secrets so that we can all get supreme benefits. Wait. What's going on? A dignified young man looked horrified. The demonic chi in this forbidden area is getting weaker and weaker. Everyone looked around. Sure enough, the demonic chi that had accumulated here for many years was like a giant beast that caused the destruction of heaven and earth. The dark and lonely demonic chi was getting weaker and weaker. What? Look, there is sunlight shining into this area. The blazing sun pierced through the area that had been sealed by the demonic chi for countless years and shone in, bringing vitality and warmth. It's too strange. The demonic chi here is getting thinner and thinner, almost completely disappearing so that this area will return to normal, no longer the demonic forbidden area. It must be that guy's doing. Search. Find him immediately. Now everyone split up and search. Once you find him, capture him directly. If there is any change, use the fireworks as a signal. Okay. There's no time to lose. Split up and search. At the bottom of the pond. Alright. Finally, every drop of demonic chi contained in the two mutated demon emperor corpses has been completely absorbed. Xiao Han opened his eyes and a smile appeared at the corner of his mouth. However, it's a pity that the demonic veins didn't break through the 20,000 mark and only reached 19,500. Ah! Suddenly Xiao Han turned his eyes and saw the huge demonic lotus at the bottom of the pond. Ha! Xiao Han thought of something and the demon sovereign's palm tattoo on his left arm burst out a violent suction force like a black hole, which instantly tore the towering demonic lotus that was more than 30 meters high into pieces, turning it into mottled pure demonic light and entering the demon sovereign's palm. Boom! His left arm shook. Exactly 500 demonic veins were awakened. Finally Xiao Han gathered 20,000 demonic veins. It could be said that the merit was perfect and the mission was a success. Ha! Xiao Han couldn't hold back the joy in his heart anymore. He moved his body and directly rushed out of the demon pond. Pooh! Xiao Han rushed out of the pond and jumped to the side. Suddenly Xiao Han felt his entire body warm up. It was an indescribably comfortable feeling. Ah! Sunlight? Xiao Han was stunned. He looked up and saw the sun in the clear sky. Xiao Han looked around and found that the demonic chi in the area was almost gone. All of the demonic plants were dying, shriveled and shriveled. This demon realm had finally recovered its vitality. Ah! I got it. After I refined the two mutated demon emperor corpses, it means that I have completely removed the source of demonic chi in the tumor in this area. The demon realm has become a pure land. Not bad. Ah! Xiao Han laughed heartily. Now, the demon sovereign's tattoo on Xiao Han's left arm was full of demonic chi, which was rolling and spreading like a river. Xiao Han could feel the almost world-destroying energy in it. With a thought, the dreamy demonic light became misty and enshrouded Xiao Han in it. It was as if he was walking in the immortal world, extremely extraordinary. His whole body was glittering, surrounded by demonic mist, and the splendid light shot up to the sky. The exuberant demonic light surged like the sea, making Xiao Han almost look like a demon emperor. In the elegant demonic light, Xiao Han's young and tender face became more and more defined. His eyes were black and shiny like gems, bright like stars, full of indescribable determination and confidence. His clothes fluttered in the wind, and he looked extraordinary. His hair was fierce and light, and his bearing was like a jade tree made of snow. In his tranquility he was brewing a world-shaking dominance. However, Xiao Han could not appear in this state normally, or he would definitely be mistaken as a demon and be surrounded and attacked. If he was killed by a group of demons as a demon emperor, it would be too troublesome. With another thought, the demon sovereign's tattoo on his left arm shrank, and all the demonic light was withdrawn. As a result, Xiao Han's left arm became ordinary. Regular people would not be able to see through the mysteries on Xiao Han's left arm. Then he sealed it with the spirit turtle's true qi, which made it even more perfect. He could do whatever he wanted. I'll go out and pass now, Xiao Han thought as he walked out of the forbidden area happily. In short, if anyone questioned him about the two mutated demon emperor corpses, he would just deny it even if he was beaten to death. At this moment, boom, a flash of sword light suddenly flickered, and with rolling thunder, it directly attacked from extremely far away. The target was Xiao Han. This strike was dignified and righteous. The sword qi was like a rainbow piercing through the sky. With a slight slash, the figure of the god of thunder appeared in the sky. The gods seemed to be spreading their faith. Moreover, this strike contained the traces of fate and destiny. It was profound, and with a single slash, thousands of people bowed their heads. Oh, what a lingering ghost. Xiao Han tilted his body slightly and moved like an illusion, easily dodging the sword qi. This sword qi containing rolling thunder directly bombarded the place where Xiao Han was just standing, immediately causing the ground to collapse and the soil to roll. Moreover, the sword qi did not stop bombarding. With a series of rumbling explosions, lightning flashed, breaking mountains and severing rivers. The ground within a radius of several dozen zhang was all blasted open, turning into a deep pit. It was a mess. After the sword qi passed by, a young man with a sword on his back floated proudly in the void, looking down at Xiao Han. His whole body was wrapped in thunder and sword qi, looking like the god of thunder. His eyes contained the sword intent that could destroy the void, looking down on everything. He was young and mature, and his every move had an irresistible majesty. He was born to be a supreme being, and he could control the whole world. He was a peerless genius from the Devil Hero region. After being cultivated by a group of old antiques, he was extremely proud. The young man observed the state of Xiao Han's life force, and found that Xiao Han's breath was no different from before. It was still so weak. Good, I finally found you. Hand over the red card. It's not something an aphid like you can touch. Also, where did you hide the two mutated demon emperor corpses? Since you can hide the corpses, it means that you must have a huge secret and treasure. Confess everything and tell me everything. The young man put his hands behind his back and looked at Xiao Han with pity. Now you can't escape. My sword intent has already locked on your soul. If you dare to escape, I will immediately kill you and turn you into ashes. Alright, confess, give me the treasure and kill yourself. Originally, I didn't want to cause trouble for your family, but you murdered junior brother Luo Hu, so 10 families were implicated. My only gift is that I allow you to kill yourself. Hearing this, Xiao Han suddenly burst into laughter. He slightly moved his body, squinted his eyes and looked at the arrogant young man. His tone was as calm as water. Do you believe that I won't slap you to death? To be continued, the latest chapter of the Peerless Tang sect. Chapter 182. Xiao Han had just refined the 2 mutant demon emperor corpses and awakened 20,000 demon meridians. Then, a genius from the Devil Hero region ran over and roared. He said that he wanted Xiao Han to kneel down and commit suicide. His attitude seemed to be that he was the only one who could kill and could not allow Xiao Han to resist. How could Xiao Han be willing to be oppressed? Especially now that he had unimaginable power, he would not allow such an arrogant guy to jump around in front of him. Little aphid, how dare you speak so rudely? Fine, I'll kill you with my own hands. The young man from the Devil Hero region glared angrily. His sword qi was like a tide and the sound of thunder rumbled. He was about to use his ultimate skill to suppress Xiao Han. The corner of Xiao Han's mouth twitched. He waved his right hand and a single saber jumped out of his true acupoint. For a moment, the saber qi was like a rock spreading its wings. Oh, a saber user? But the saber qi is very immature. There's nothing to worry about. Seeing Xiao Han draw his saber, the young man from the Devil Hero region was stunned, and then his eyes were full of fear. So you're a saber user. Your saber qi, saber momentum, and saber intent are outstanding in the 4 regions. But for me you're still too weak. Ha! Aren't you afraid that the wind will cut your tongue? Go to hell. Xiao Han was about to slash out with his saber. The young man from the Devil Hero region laughed. Aphids are aphids, ha. However, at this moment, a cold and sharp saber light condensed on the blade in Xiaohan's hand, and a long river of demonic aura rushed out from Xiaohan's left arm. A huge demonic emperor's palm was directly sent out. This demon emperor palm was more than 200 feet long, almost as big as a mountain. It was full of demon chi and its whole body seemed to be carved out of jade. One could see dense demon meridians rolling on it. Each demon meridian was pure and flawless, like a long river of spirit meridians and jade liquid. For a moment, within a radius of dozens of miles, there were tens of thousands of demon lights and demon chi. Ancient demon talismans kept blooming like lotus flowers. One bloomed, the other withered, and the cycle was endless. 2 demon emperor crystals were embedded in the demon emperor palm. They were as bright as stars, but they were also like the eyes of an ancient fierce beast. It was nothing when it was closed, but once it opened, it would be a catastrophe. Terrifying demonic sounds could be heard everywhere. The glazed demon aura that seemed to shine through the ages enveloped the youth from the Devil Hero region in an instant. The dazzling demon light made him unable to open his eyes. Just then, Pa Peach, the demon Thearcha's palm slammed down. This slap contained 20. Wan Ding's absolute violence was simply capable of destroying mountains and rivers, evaporating oceans, and shocking people to death. It was like a demon emperor had descended, causing storms to sweep through the heavens and the earth, volcanoes to erupt, and meteorites to strike. All of a sudden, the young man from the Fairyland region was caught off guard and was slapped down from the sky. Puyum, blood spurted out of his mouth and all the bones in his body were shattered. His jade-like flesh shell was shaken to the point of shattering. He lay on the ground, twitching non-stop, and looked at Xiao Luo with fear, despair, pain, and unwillingness in his eyes. You are her. Demon. Oof. Puff. Haha, this demon the arch-palm can shatter a large area with just pure strength. Awesome. Xiaohan grinned and retracted the demon the arch-palm. Then he slowly walked towards the young man from the Fairyland region. His face was filled with a harmless smile. What demon? I am a human. How can I be a demon? Ah. You Puff M, the young man from the Fairyland region looked at Xiaohan in a daze. Only Xiaohan's face was as gentle as jade, and his temperament was light and agile. He was definitely a human and not a demon. As he spat out blood, he exerted all his remaining strength. You cheated, you took out your saber, but it was just for show. Your killing move is a demon's trick. I can't accept it. What an idiot. Xiaohan stepped on the young man's face. It's a battle of life and death. It's either you die or I die. As the saying goes, unscrupulous and unscrupulous. Do I have to tell you my tricks in advance and fight openly with you? There are more than 100 of you and I'm alone. There's no need to talk about rules with you. Alright, die. I've said it before. I'll trample on your pride and face. Bang. Xiaohan exerted a little force with his foot, and the injured body of the young man from the Fairyland region was immediately torn into pieces. Immediately, a pile of items exploded all over the ground. There were countless supreme-grade true chi spirit stones and precious medicines. Xiaohan didn't count them. He stuffed them into his true meridian first. After killing the young man from the Fairyland region, Xiaohan used his movement technique and ran out of the restricted area. He sealed the demonic chi on his left arm tightly and flawlessly, making it impossible for anyone to see through it. The Fairyland Pagoda. A very high level. More than a dozen old antiques with strong auras were whispering to each other. At this moment, what? Lei Wuin's name dimmed on the notice. He's dead? What's going on? What's going on? One of the old antiques jumped up. Luo who is dead. It's only been a day and Lei Wuin is dead again. The old antique was shocked and angry. Runes shot out of his eyes, and his aura was fierce, as if he was going to smash all the tables and chairs. Brother Lu, calm down. Calm down. Another old antique immediately exhorted him. The second round of the test is almost over, and there are only 2 hours left. Perhaps Luo Hu and Lei Wuin were unlucky and accidentally lost their footing, resulting in their deaths. Everyone calm down. This round is about to end. There can be no more accidents. Calm down everyone. In the restricted area. Time was of the essence, so Xiaohan used his true chi to transform into a bat dragon. Stepping on the dragon's head, he flew out of the restricted area at lightning speed. At this moment, bang! Right in front of Xiaohan, a firework shot up into the sky, exploding into a beautiful pattern in the air, with a profound artistic conception. Before long, a purple-robed young woman appeared in front of Xiao Han, slender and elegant. She was lively, but there was a murderous aura in her eyes that ruined her beauty, making her seem like a cruel and merciless person. Purple clouds roiled above her head, and purple chi stretched for dozens of kilometers. It was a spectacular sight, and was an extremely profound true chi divine art. Stop. The purple-robed young woman looked coldly at Xiao Han. Who are you? How dare you murder two of my senior brothers in the Devil Hero region? You deserve to die. But it doesn't matter if you don't tell us. In a while we will make you kneel and kowtow to beg for mercy. Now no one can save you anymore. Ha! With a thought, the frost flood dragon under Xiao Han's feet immediately stopped flying. This caused Xiao Han and the purple-robed young woman to face each other in a deadlock. Whoosh, whoosh, soon there was the sound of something tearing through the air. Another man and a woman flew over. They were so fast that they left a series of afterimages in the sky. They were both proud sons of heaven and peerless experts. They stood to the left and right of Xiao Han. They looked at Xiao Han with a murderous look, but did not say anything. Then there was a ripple in the air behind Xiao Han. Xiao Han turned his head slightly and saw a young man in a snow-white robe walking over in the air. His true chi did not seem very sharp, but everywhere it passed, the space shook. A huge picture appeared above his head. In the picture there were green mountains and white clouds. Bronze palaces stood between the peaks and the clouds. He stopped 100 steps behind Xiao Han and looked at him calmly. It was impossible to tell if he was happy or angry. Walking with the white-robed young man was a man in purple. His clothes fluttered in the wind, and he looked like a god descending to the mortal world. His eyes were like stars competing with each other, extremely bright. He stood with his hands clasped behind his back, looking like he could take charge of an area. Then, in the west, under the bright sun, a large ocean actually appeared in the western horizon. The blue ocean surged violently, and a bright moon slowly rose from the surface of the sea. Silver light shone in all directions, and every ray of moonlight was as heavy as a mountain, capable of crushing the stars and meteorites into pieces. A woman in red walked out under the moonlight. High mountains and flowing rivers and the bright moon in the sky, it was picturesque. In this way people came out one after another and surrounded Xiao Han. Every one of them was a genius from the Wuxia region, a dragon among men. 1, 2, 3. Xiao Han counted silently. In the end, a total of 10 people surrounded Xiao Han. You're very strong. The young man in white looked at Xiao Han. There are fluctuations of the secret method of the demon clan on you. Even junior brother Luo Hu and junior brother Lei Wuyin were killed by you. This is beyond our expectations. But now you have nowhere to run. Tell us the secret. There is no other choice. Xiao Han smiled faintly, indescribably elegant and natural. There was no fear or shock on his face. I don't like killing, but you're forcing me. Besides, the chief examiner didn't stipulate that the red card must be won by the people of the Wuxia region, right? Alright, let's cut the crap. Since I've already killed your people, I might as well go all the way. Die, all of you. As soon as Xiao Han's voice fell, a demonic wind swept in all directions, and the demonic sound was like a tide. Bang, moo. In the void, a giant crystal-clear palm suddenly appeared, with a violent demonic aura. When it slapped in the air, people could see a demonic light drawing a beautiful arc in the air. The power could topple mountains and overturn the seas, destroy thousands of troops and crush people and ghosts. Puff. The purple-clothed young woman who was blocking the front was smashed to pieces, and she didn't even have the chance to howl before she was torn to pieces and died. Ah. Junior sister Ting Ting. Roar. A young man in green roared as if he had lost his parents. His eyes were about to split open. Bastard. Cut into pieces. Boom, you. A long river-like saber chi directly slashed toward Xiao Han. Runes tumbled and the sun, moon, stars, wind, fire, thunder and lightning all flashed. Xiao Han's body moved slightly, and his afterimages appeared. The saber chi tore Xiao Han's afterimages into pieces, but the next moment, the demonic palm grabbed the young man in green like lightning and squeezed. Then the sound of an egg being crushed was heard. Puff. The young man in green was crushed into powder. Bang. The demonic palm slapped down from the sky, and there was a sudden clap of thunder. The young man in white was slapped into a piece of human skin, and the ground collapsed. No. Why is this happening? We are all talented. Our masters said that among the younger generation in the world, not many people can pose a threat to us. We came to participate in the Devil Hero trial, and only we can kill people. It's very difficult for others to kill us. Why is this happening? The remaining young men and women of the Devil Hero region all barked crazily, and they couldn't believe what was happening in front of them. Their spirits had been crushed and they were completely defeated. Bastard. Die. Shatter the Void Reincarnation Palm. A big black palm with a terrifying aura suddenly appeared above Xiaohan's head and slapped down. Xiaohan's frost turtle dragon exploded and cracked. However, Xiaohan didn't move at all. His eyes were calm and his expression was calm. With a flash of demonic light, the demon the arch palm directly slapped back. Puff. In a single strike, the black palm imprint was shattered. The demonic palm grabbed out, grabbing onto a yellow-robed youth and squeezing it. The pain was so intense that he let out a blood-curdling screech and even begged for mercy. However, very quickly his soul dissipated and he couldn't be more dead. The demon the arch palm with 2 million cauldrons of pure strength and 2 demonic techniques made Xiaohan completely invincible in the battle with this group of people of the same age. It was as if he had entered an unstoppable realm, and he was invincible. After smashing 10 people in a row, the last one was finally scared out of his wits. His figure flashed and he was about to escape. Boom. A demonic talisman covered him, and the Sky Demon God seal locked him tightly. The next moment, bang. He was smashed into pieces. All of them were smashed. In this battle, Xiaohan alone killed 11 geniuses from the Devil Hero region. It was a glorious battle record. Yes, they're all dead. No survivors. Xiaohan smiled with satisfaction, kept the demon the arch palm and the spoils on the ground, and continued to fly outside. Spirit Turtle True Chi sealed his left arm. Devil Hero Pagoda. An extremely high level. On the announcement, the names of the contestants from the Devil Hero region dimmed one after another. What's going on? Continuous deaths. Our disciples are dying one after another. What terrible thing happened? The old antiques roared and were furious. Everyone, calm down. Maintain your poise and composure. Don't be noisy. An old antique muttered, his eyes staring straight ahead. *CKU. The group of old antiques cursed in unison. They couldn't sit still anymore and they ran around like headless flies. The Peerless Tang Sect's latest chapter. Chapter 183. Xiaohan used the demon god's palm to kill all the contestants who were chasing him in the forbidden area. He quickly restrained the instinctive excitement after killing, and did not forget to seal the demon god's palm tattoo on his left arm. His face was as calm as water, and his state of mind was as steady as a rock. Then he flew out of the forbidden area. Of course, Xiaohan also knew that he had killed so many geniuses of the Devil Hero region, which was absolutely not a trivial matter. Although there was no magic eye stone in the forbidden area, the truth could not be concealed. If someone wanted to do a thorough investigation, they could almost find the murderer. Moreover, the red card was the biggest flaw. But Xiaohan had made up his mind, he would not admit it. Since no one saw it with their own eyes, then he would not admit it. Outside the forbidden area, it was already in an uproar. First of all, the demon aura in the forbidden area had faded to nothingness, and the gray and dead hue that shrouded it all year round was completely annihilated. And there was no trace of the aura of the mutated demon emperor radiating, so that the sunlight could shine into this dead land, bringing the vitality of all things to life. It allowed people to enter safely and stroll leisurely. What? Qin Shifeng? What's going on? The crippled old man was already a little fascinated and incoherent. The forbidden area where the corpse of the mutated demon emperor is sealed has been destroyed. All the demon aura is gone. Qin Shifeng's body trembled. His expression changed several times in a row, and then he calmed down. In the forbidden area, the source of the demon aura has been destroyed. Interesting, very interesting. Huh? You mean the 2 corpses of the mutated demon emperor were destroyed? The crippled old man was full of disbelief. Although these contestants are young and enchanting, it is impossible for them to get close to the 2 corpses of the mutated demon emperor. It is absolutely impossible. At least in terms of realm, spiritual level, and soul strength, they are limited. Even the young people trained by the people of the Devil Hero region can't get within 1,000 steps of the mutated demon emperor, right? Old crippled. Qin Shifeng thought for a few breaths and then smiled. Well, old crippled, let's wait and see about this matter. There was a possibility that a heaven-defying youth would be born from this batch of participants. In the future, he would become a demon hero who could command the wind and clouds and take charge of an area by himself. His name would completely shake the mountains and rivers. However, we can't jump to conclusions now. We still have to see if he can continue to lead the way in the following tests. Hearing Qin Fading Wind's words, the crippled old man understood. Qin Fading Wind, are you saying that a genius has appeared? However, to destroy the examination venue, this matter. I don't know if the higher-ups will reprimand me. It's fine. It's just an examination ground. If I can exchange it for a supreme demon hero, it'll be an immortal merit when I slay demons in the future. Passing Wind's face was full of smiles as he muttered, in that case, he should have obtained the red card that I placed near the mutated demon emperor's corpse. What reward should I give him? He fell into deep thought again. At this time on the notice, there were many names that were fading. More than a dozen names in a row completely lost their vitality and dimmed. Ah. It's the people of our Wuxia region. How could more than a dozen people die in a row? The people of the Wuxia region were immediately shocked and hissed. In other words, the junior brothers and sisters who stayed in the forbidden area were all killed. There are no demons in the forbidden area that are enough to kill the people of our Wuxia region. Therefore, someone must have done this. This is simply a provocation. It's unforgivable. The culprit must be apprehended, tortured, and executed by 1,000 cuts. Everyone calm down a little. Look, more than a dozen people's names were killed in a row. In almost a dozen breaths they were killed one after another. In other words, the murderer is not only lawless and cruel, but his combat power is also shocking. It's almost a series of instant kills. In the 4 regions and the vast wilderness, it's unlikely that there will be a genius among the younger generation who can kill the people of our Wuxia region in a breath. Eldest senior brother, what do you think? Dozens of men and women from the Wuxia region turned their heads almost at the same time and looked at a young man. The man's skin was fair and tender like a young girl's. He had delicate features and was handsome. His head was wrapped with a piece of white cloth, which completely covered his hair. His clothes and accessories had traces of an exotic style, and his nose bridge was high, as if he came from a mysterious ancient country. His eyes were tightly closed and did not open, as if he was comprehending some mysterious principles. His whole body exuded the aura of treasures, and his face was calm, looking holy and solemn. His aura was round and flawless, not sharp, and no one could see his depth. At this moment, hearing that more than a dozen people on his side had died, he still closed his eyes and his expression did not change. In fact, although the geniuses selected from the Devil Hero domain addressed each other as senior brothers, junior sisters and senior sisters, there was no strict and cumbersome seniority system. Often they addressed each other casually. Simply put, the combat power of the junior brothers and sisters was not necessarily weaker than that of the senior brothers and sisters. However, this eldest senior brother was unanimously recognized. There was no second senior brother, third senior brother, or fourth senior brother. Master. There was only one eldest senior brother. He was regarded as the leader of this group of geniuses. No one was dissatisfied. At this time, the eldest senior brother still did not open his eyes, and even his holy and otherworldly face was not contaminated with secular emotions. He said indifferently, "Blooming flowers will eventually wither, and the bright stars will also be annihilated one day. People always have to face death. Since the junior brothers and sisters chose to participate in this year's Wuxia trial, they should have the awareness of death. They have fallen. Perhaps this is their fate. But, eldest senior brother, we represent the dignity of the younger generation of the Wuxia region. We can't die in the hands of others for nothing." A girl in white said with a red face. The eldest senior brother sighed and said, "The person who got the red card is very likely to be the murderer." After that, he stopped talking, and his whole body seemed to instantly escape into the mysterious state of enlightenment. His eyes, from beginning to end, had not opened. The eldest senior brother seemed to be used to silence, and his aura was not sharp and flamboyant. Therefore, he was absolutely inconspicuous among this group of geniuses from the Wuxia region. Yes, eldest senior brother is right. Let's see who got the red card. The people from the Wuxia region instantly quieted down and looked at the exit of the forbidden area. They changed from anger to calmness, but in this calmness, a disastrous storm was brewing and undercurrents were surging. The contestants from the 4 regions and the great wilderness all looked at the people of the Wuxia region with gloating eyes. Fatty Zhu and Mo Qingtong, Xiao Yunrong and Hoi Yang were now surprised and happy. No way? Is all this done by the boss? Fatty Zhu lowered his voice and said, "More than a dozen geniuses from the Wuxia region died, and the demon chi in the entire forbidden area is getting weaker and weaker. Oh my god. Boss, Fatty really worships you to death. You're not human at all. Fatty, what are you talking about? Mo Ching Tong glanced at Fatty Zhu. Who's not human? No, Miss Mo, don't get me wrong. My boss is not human, he's an immortal. He'll definitely become an immortal in the future. Fatty Zhu explained with a smile. Flatterer. Mo Ching Tong laughed and scolded. Junior brother Xiao Han's name is still shining brightly on the list. He's safe and sound. And there's only 1 hour left before the end of the second round of assessment. I wonder if junior brother Xiao Han has found that red card. Hui Yang stared at the exit of the forbidden area. The four of them were all waiting anxiously. They were all thinking, why hasn't Xiao Han come out yet? From the forbidden area, a few contestants walked out and handed their crystal cards to Qin Shifeng. However, every contestant who came out to be verified would be met with dozens of vigilant and analytical gazes from the Yaoxia region. There's already a little guy who found the crystal card. Not bad. Qin Shifeng also looked at the exit of the forbidden area. Qin Shifeng, are you waiting for the little guy who destroyed the mutated demon emperor's corpse, killed the geniuses of the Yaoxia region, and obtained your lucky red crystal card? The crippled old man smiled. Then he said in a low voice, I remember you said that there's a very interesting young man called Xiao Han, right? I think it's most likely that Xiao Han got the red card. At this moment, he's out. Qin Shifeng's expression trembled slightly. He and the crippled old man looked over at the same time. They saw Xiao Han slowly walking out of the forbidden area. His clothes were almost ragged, but he was full of vigor and spirit. Moreover, his temperament was light and agile, calm and unruffled. This little guy hid his realm in the power of his flesh shell. Moreover, there's a faint demonic aura on his left arm. The crippled old man said in a low voice. Qin Shifeng, look at his temperament. He's very calm. If he was the one who killed those geniuses of the Yaoxia region, then he's really a ruthless character. After killing, he doesn't show his emotions. He acts as if it's nothing. This is a necessary condition to become an outstanding Yaoxia. Boss Xiao is out. Fatty Zhu was extremely excited. Mo Ching Tong, Xiao Yunrong and Hua Fan's eyes also lit up as they looked at Xiao Han with relief. As for the people of the Yaoxia region, except for the eldest senior brother, who was still in the mysterious state of mind wandering and had not opened his eyes, the others all stared at Xiao Han. Xiao Han, right? Qin Shifeng took a step forward and looked at Xiao Han playfully. You found the crystal card? Yes. Xiao Han hesitated for a moment, because he felt that the people of the Yaoxia region were looking at him with deterrence and anger. Damn it, if I hand over the red crystal card now, I'm afraid I'll be exposed. Xiao Han hesitated slightly. Suddenly, a voice as thin as gossamer entered Xiao Han's ears. This voice gathered into a line. Only Xiao Han could hear it. No one else could eavesdrop on it. It was an extremely brilliant method of voice transmission. There was even a sense of soul transmission. It was very magical. Xiao Han, you found the red card, right? Ah, very good. You killed those geniuses of the Yaoxia region, right? Now, if you hand over the red card, it's tantamount to directly admitting that you're the murderer. It will directly cause trouble in the future. If you don't hand it over, you'll definitely feel wronged and unwilling. Ah, I'll see how you deal with it. Also, if I call you aside alone, the people of the Yaoxia region will also be suspicious. Forget it, it's up to you to choose. I'll test your mind. It was the voice of morning passing wind. The crippled old man also crossed his arms and looked at Xiao Han with great interest. He also wanted to see how Xiao Han would deal with it. This. Xiao Han breathed out a mouthful of turbid air. After thinking for a while, he said, It's okay. Why should I, Xiao Han, feel wronged? Is there a rule about who can kill and who can't kill in this Yaoxia trial? It's like 10,000 people crossing a single log bridge. Whoever gives way will be smashed into pieces. I found this red card and I deserve any benefits and rewards. The winner is king and the loser is a bandit. I have a clear conscience. Xiao Han said it with awe-inspiring righteousness. After he finished speaking, he suddenly broke some kind of shackle, and the courage in his heart was completely awakened. His mind had been transformed to a certain extent. His domineering will rose and he ruled the world. I found the red card. Xiao Han reached into his arms, took out the only red card, and calmly handed it to Morning Passing Wind. Good. Very good. Xiao Han, you passed. Morning Passing Wind nodded with great appreciation and praise. He took the red card and said solemnly, Xiao Han, listen, I will personally reward you with an item. I won't renege on this, ha. Xiao Han handed over the red card, and the other contestants were in an uproar. Some of the contestants from the 4 regions and the Great Wilderness were filled with envy, jealousy, and some thought that Xiaohan was just lucky. But now, everyone firmly remembered Xiaohan's name. On the side of the Wuxia region, murderous intent filled the sky. The geniuses' eyes almost popped out of their sockets. They could not wait to surround Xiaohan and tear him into pieces. "Don't act rashly," the eldest senior brother said indifferently. "Respect the rules of the competition." Eldest senior brother? This person. If this person hands over the red card, he will be a traitor who murdered our colleagues from the Wuxia region. Everyone has the right to punish him. Moreover, he knows that the contestants from the Wuxia region are determined to get the red card, but he still killed and robbed us. This is a complete provocation and trampling on us. Qin Passing Wind ignored the indignation of the people from the Wuxia region and smiled faintly. "Xiaohan, come with me." After that, he walked towards a valley on the left. Xiaohan licked his lips and quickly followed. His heart skipped a beat. This powerful Wuxia, the chief examiner of the second round, is going to personally give me a treasure? He is so powerful, I wonder what he will give me? It would be best if it is some kind of treasure like a true Qi divine skill that I can directly cultivate and increase my combat power. The two of them entered a secluded valley filled with flowers and trees one after the other. Qin Passing Wind stood with his hands behind his back and smiled faintly. "Xiaohan, you have the secret of the monster race. In your left arm, you refined the hand of the monster race's emperor. This is a heaven-defying opportunity." This. Xiaohan's body shook violently. He became alert and took half a step back. "It's okay. In this world, everyone has their own luck and opportunities. Humans have the secrets and methods of the monster race. Although it is rare, it is not impossible. You Xiaohan are just one of them." Qin Passing Wind said indifferently. "I am a human. I'm not a demon." Xiaohan tried to defend himself. "I have killed countless monsters in my life and I have also killed monster emperors. I can tell whether you are a human or a monster with one look. If you were a monster, you would have died a long time ago. In fact, in the first round, you were killed by Old Quebec." Qin Passing Wind smiled faintly. Hearing this, Xiaohan heaved a sigh of relief. Moreover, Xiaohan was clear that only the tattoo on his left arm was seen through. The monster egg in his heart was still hidden and couldn't be seen through by anyone. That was Xiaohan's biggest secret. The palm of the monster race's emperor, this opportunity is indeed shocking. Qin Passing Wind looked at Xiaohan. Suddenly, a demonic light flashed between his eyebrows. This demonic light directly shot into Xiaohan's left arm and saw through many secrets. "This is..." Xiaohan was shocked. He definitely wouldn't be wrong. The beautiful light that flashed between Qin Passing Wind's eyebrows was definitely demonic light. But Qin Passing Wind was definitely not a monster. There was no doubt about this. After all, the monster egg in Xiaohan's heart couldn't sense Qin Passing Wind at all. "Head examiner, you also have the skills of the monster race?" Xiaohan suddenly had an idea. "You can say that." Qin Passing Wind nodded and said, "Your current demonic power is equivalent to half a monster emperor. Alright, the lowest grade of monster emperor." Xiaohan was stunned. Half a monster emperor? To be continued. Chapter 184. Half-Step Demon Emperor? Xiaohan was confused. Qin Wanfeng said confidently. "Yes. Half-Step Demon Emperor. The demon race is ranked according to their bloodline. The more noble their bloodline is, the more demon veins they will awaken. To put it simply, those who awaken at least 40,000 demon veins and have a demon emperor crystal can be called demon emperor. Of course, like I said, it's only the lowest level of demon emperor. Xiaohan, you should know that demon emperors are also divided into different levels. You can't generalize them. There are mutated demon emperors above demon emperors." Xiaohan nodded and thought for a while. "Head examiner, this... I understand. I've met 2 demon emperors before. They were the North Mystic Demon Emperor and the Qinglin Demon Emperor. The North Mystic Demon Emperor moved like an illusion, while the Qinglin Demon Emperor wielded the apocalyptic demon blade. Although they are both demon emperors, I heard from my senior brothers that the Qinglin Demon Emperor is many times harder to kill than the North Mystic Demon Emperor." Qin Wanfeng continued. "Therefore, Xiaohan, now that you have opened 20,000 demon meridians and refined the demon emperor crystal, you can be regarded as half a low-level demon emperor. This should not be wrong. However, you're a human after all. Once the demon power in your demon veins is depleted, the recovery speed will be extremely slow. But the demon race is different. Even if your demon power is depleted, it can automatically replenish itself in a short period of time. Furthermore, they can quickly replenish their demon power by devouring humans. For example, some demon emperors would devour a city of human beings in one go to replenish their demonic power in an instant when they were in need. That's right. If all of the demon veins in my left arm's demon monarch palm were to be depleted, it would take a very long time for it to recover by itself. If I want to recover quickly, I have to hunt the demon race. Xiaohan nodded. Astonishingly, his heart was shaken to the core as he blurted out. Head examiner. You even know exactly how many demon veins have been awakened on my demon god's palm. This is really unbelievable. There were many almighties who could see the traces of the demon race on Xiaohan's left arm. However, for someone like Qin Fading Wind to be able to tell how many demon veins were awakened on the demon emperor's palm, it was indeed unimaginable. Qin Fading Wind smiled but didn't say anything. A grain-sized crack appeared between his eyebrows and demonic light flashed. He seemed to be in a good mood as he spoke with a smile. Under normal circumstances, demon generals are unable to produce demon emperor crystals, and they can only awaken less than 10,000 demon veins. Demon emperors possess demon emperor crystals and awaken 40,000 demon veins to become low-level demon emperors. Awaken 480,000 demon veins to become mid-level demon emperors. Awaken 80,000 to 10,000 demon veins to become high-level demon emperors. To a demon emperor, 100,000 demon veins is a critical point. Because of their bloodlines, it is very difficult for them to exceed 100,000. However, once it breaks through 100,000, it means that the bloodline will ascend and the mutation will begin. Minus 300,000 demon veins was a first mutation, 36 million demon veins was a second mutation, and 10,000 demon veins was an ultimate mutation. An ultimate mutated demon monarch has a chance of becoming an emperor. Let's not talk about the monster emperor for now. All mutated demon emperors are violent creatures that rule over an area. Their bodies will produce more than one demon emperor crystal. Ordinary demon emperors that haven't mutated can only give birth to one demon emperor crystal. Once a demon emperor mutates, it is possible for a second, third, fourth crystal to appear. For us, mutated demon emperors are no different from nightmares. Throughout history, every time a mutated demon emperor is killed, even if it's a first mutation, many demon heroes have to pay with their lives. It's very tragic. Qin Fading Wind sighed. His eyes flashed with a look of reminiscence. His facial muscles twitched a few times, as if he was recalling something terrifying. Xiaohan was also digesting Qin Fading Wind's explanation at an extremely fast speed. Low-level demon emperor, mid-level demon emperor, high-level demon emperor. Mutation. First mutation, second mutation, ultimate mutation. Demon emperor. This was the pyramid structure of the upper echelons of the demon clan. It looked extremely complicated, but it was actually very simple. Based on the number of demon veins, one could accurately deduce the level of the demon clan. Xiaohan. Suddenly, Qin Fading Wind's expression became extremely serious. Yes. Xiaohan focused his mind. Remember, the methods of the demon clan are only an aid to you. You're a human. Cultivating true qi is your foundation. To us humans, true qi can prove our Tao. There's a chance to become an immortal. If you're obsessed with the secret methods of the demon clan and give up on cultivating true qi, you're definitely putting the cart before the horse and going astray. Although you've obtained the demon emperor's palm, you definitely won't have the methods of the demon emperor. You won't be able to refine more demon emperor crystals, or your body will explode. Awakening the demon veins may seem easy now, but it will become more and more difficult in the future. If you're a demon and obtain the demon emperor's palm, you'll definitely become a demon emperor, or even have the possibility of mutating. However, you're a genuine human. Do you understand what I mean? Yes, I understand. The demon emperor's palm is just the icing on the cake, not the foundation. I'm a human and my true qi is the foundation, Xiaohan said seriously. But Xiaohan thought, if I only have the demon emperor's palm, it'll be extremely difficult for me to achieve much. But in my heart there's still a terrifying demon egg. The demon egg and the demon emperor's palm complement each other, so it's hard to say. Of course, it was impossible for Xiaohan to reveal such thoughts. Very good, you have a good temperament, you're not arrogant. Qin Fading Wind nodded with satisfaction. Of course, your foundation is already very good. Cultivating both demon techniques and true qi, this is almost a rare existence. With true qi as the foundation and demon techniques as the supplement, your battle power will increase exponentially, allowing you to become an all-powerful demon hero in the future. However, you have to pass the next test. This time's demon hero selection competition is getting harder and harder. Let's see if you can overcome all the obstacles, advance triumphantly and laugh until the end. Xiaohan nodded. Alright, as I said before, the participant who finds the red card will receive a personal reward from me, Qin Fading Wind. I, Qin Fading Wind, am not a person who goes back on his words. Also, I've already thought of the reward for you. Qin Fading Wind smiled confidently. Is that so? Xiaohan's heart palpitated. Ha ha. Xiaohan, this treasure is not a small matter. Originally, I was extremely unwilling to give it to others, but after thinking about it, I feel that this treasure is the most suitable for you. Also, I've developed a love for you. As Qin Fading Wind spoke, the demonic light between his eyebrows became more and more dazzling. Strings of demonic aura enshrouded the area, making Qin Fading Wind's face look extremely demonic. Pooh, a soft sound was heard. The area between Qin Fading Wind's eyebrows actually cracked slightly. In the next moment, a small eyeball directly flew out. This was an eyeball that was filled with demonic aura. The color was like agate, and the demonic light was flowing, frightening people's souls. It was as if one would be sucked into the demonic light in the eyeball if they looked at it for too long. This is a demon eye. It's a trophy that I obtained from a battle where I killed a demon emperor. It's useless against the human race, but if it's used against the demon race, it will display many miraculous effects. For example, it can see through a demon race disguised as a human. For example, it can see through a demon race's body and see how many demon veins it has awakened. From this, it can deduce its demon power and combat strength. Xiaohan, now I'll give this demon eye to you as a reward. If you can become a demon hero in the future, you can use this demon eye to hunt demon race to your heart's content. Junior understands. The reason why the main examiner was able to accurately see how many demon veins I have awakened is because of this demon eye. Xiaohan's mind flashed with inspiration. Haha. Not bad. Alright, I'll give you the demon eye. Let's see if you can refine it. If you can't refine the demon eye, I'll take it back. Qin Fading Wind laughed carefreely. Then he put his hands behind his back and left the valley. Xiaohan, hurry up and come over. The second round of examination has ended. I'll bring you to the third round of examination. Oh. Xiaohan responded. He opened his right palm. The peanut-sized demon eye had already floated to his palm. It was rolling around, emitting a demonic and clear luster. It was as if it was blinking. It was very mysterious. If I refine this demon eye, I can see how many demon veins a demon race has awakened? That's great. This is equivalent to seeing through the demon race's combat strength with one look. I can predict the enemy's moves and see through the slightest details. When hunting demon race, I can advance and retreat at will. That was great. But how do I refine this demon eye? Just as Xiaohan thought of this, the demon egg in his heart suddenly moved. It spat out a bright light that directly covered the demon eye. The next moment, the demon eye seemed to have a mind of its own. It immediately merged into Xiaohan's forehead. Xiaohan couldn't react at all. Boom, boom, boom. Xiaohan's forehead expanded crazily, almost exploding. However, the situation was the same as when he refined the demon god's palm. At this critical moment, the demon egg in his heart emitted a warm current and rushed into Xiaohan's forehead. It began to nourish and soothe the demon eye. After 10 breaths, demon talismans bloomed from Xiaohan's forehead. Demonic light shone in all directions. He felt that the demon eye seemed to have merged with his soul. It completely belonged to him. It was refined. Between Xiaohan's eyebrows, there was a crack the size of a grain of rice. With a flash of demonic light, he glanced at his left arm and immediately saw that in his left arm, there was a giant palm with a towering demonic aura, which was as majestic as a mountain ridge, inlaid with 2 pieces of demon emperor crystals that shone like stars, as well as a total of 20,000 spirit veins and a long river of demon veins. This is really interesting. I can actually see it so clearly. Xiaohan was happy. He thought again and the demonic light between his eyebrows disappeared. The crack the size of a grain of rice closed. Good. This reward is very interesting. Xiaohan was overjoyed. He left the valley. Outside the forbidden area, Xiaohan walked to the side of his companions. Boss, you're so awesome. Fatty Zhu growled, his eyes full of admiration. Mo Qingtong, Xiao Yunrong and Hua Fan all looked at Xiaohan with shining eyes. Brother Xiao, what reward did the chief examiner give you? Mo Qingtong looked at Xiao Han with her charming eyes. Oh, nothing much. It's just a small thing. Xiao Han smiled. At this moment, dozens of geniuses from the Yaoxia region looked at Xiao Han with their teeth clenched. Their throats made gurgling sounds. Their hatred was monstrous and they were extremely angry. Only the eldest senior brother had his eyes closed tightly as he silently comprehended the profound principles of the universe. Okay kids, the second round of the assessment is over. Congratulations, you've successfully passed and can enter the third round of the assessment, Qin Fengqian said loudly. I'm not too sure about the content of the third round of the Yaoxia trial, but the venue is not on this island. Also, I can give you some general information. The third round of the assessment may be more interesting, ha. Chapter 185. The head examiner of the second round, Qin Shifeng, was about to announce the situation of the third round. Fatty Zhu was still nagging in Xiao Han's ear. Xiao Han glared at Fatty Zhu. Enough, Fatty. Don't spout nonsense. Listen carefully to the head examiner. Yes, boss. Fatty Zhu said with a fawning expression. On the other side, the geniuses from the Devil Hero region suppressed their killing intent and shifted their venomous gazes away from Xiao Han. They all stared at Qin Shifeng. The scene quietened down. Morning Passing Wind said calmly. Now I will simply announce the data. A total of 7,897 people entered the restricted area to participate in the second round of assessment. Now, 3,340 people have successfully found their crystal cards. Another 205 people are still lingering in the restricted area, struggling to find their crystal cards. However, the time for the second round of assessment has ended. Then, the 205 people who are still in the restricted area will be directly eliminated and sent out of the examination venue. That's the situation. As soon as he said that, the entire venue was filled with discussions. 7,897 people entered the restricted area, 3,340 people found their crystal cards and passed. 5 people did not find their crystal cards but survived. In other words, a total of 4,352 people died in this assessment. The number of deaths far exceeds the number of people who passed. This is too scary. Too cruel. What a freak. This is only the second round. There are still more rounds after this. Who knows how many people will die? Perhaps, in the end, there will only be a few hundred people who can survive and become chivalrous heroes. A general success is built on 10,000 bones. At this moment, Qin Fading Wind suddenly muttered, "That's pretty good. Out of the 4,000 crystal cards, 3,340 people found them. This has already far exceeded my expectations. This batch of youngsters is of high quality. Each of them is a genius." What? When Qin Shifeng's words fell into the ears of the contestants, it caused an indescribable shock. Previously, it was clearly stated that there were 5,000 crystal cards hidden in the restricted area. But now that the assessment has ended, it is said that there are only 4,000 crystal cards. These examiners are too sinister. I will not believe any examiner's words in the future. Who will believe them? Believing them is courting death. The Hex Hero preliminaries are full of danger and deception. Alright, everyone stop talking and making noise. Qin Fading Wind's expression did not change. Next, I will personally lead you all to the third stage's examination venue. That is an extremely beautiful place. It's like a fairyland filled with spiritual energy that makes one forget to return. Qin Shifeng's face revealed an expression of infatuation and yearning as he muttered, "The third stage might not be so cruel. She is very gentle and kind to people, like a fairy descending to the mortal world. Maybe she will let most of you pass." The contestants whispered among themselves, "The third stage will be easy? Only a fool would believe you. What beautiful fairyland. Looks like the third test will most likely be in some kind of cruel and dark place like hell." Based on what he said, the chief examiner of the third stage seems to be a woman. However, we already know these chief examiners like the back of our hands. He had always loved to speak sarcastically. From the looks of it, the chief examiner of the third stage should be a demonic and cruel person. He was guilty of many crimes. Anyone who saw him would be afraid. So I wonder how many people will die in the third stage. Just thinking about it makes me feel sad, although some of the contestants were full of complaints and their faces were filled with disappointment. However, the majority of the contestants had unwavering determination in their eyes. Their exuberant fighting spirit could not be extinguished. After all, those who could pass 2 stages in a row could not be ordinary people. They should all be the strongest of the younger generation. They were as steady as a rock and indomitable. Yes, old cripple, you deal with the aftermath. Send the 200 people who are still in the restricted area out. With this experience they will benefit greatly. Even if they can't become hex heroes, they will not be mediocre for the rest of their lives. They will all have some achievements. Qin Shifeng smiled and nodded at the crippled old man. The crippled old man coughed violently a few times, then smiled and said to the contestants, "Children, you are about to leave this island and enter the third stage's examination venue. I wish you all a smooth journey. You will all have the chance to become hex heroes." With that, the crippled old man limped into the restricted area. Shio, a ray of light shot out from Qin Shifeng's body and shot into the sky like an arrow piercing through the clouds. Very quickly, a firework bloomed in the blue sky. The contestants all raised their heads to look. Very quickly, a wave came from the void. Boom! A huge object slowly moved and descended from the sky. It was a city in the sky. To be more precise, it was a building that had 100 floors. It was like a giant, and every floor was densely packed with rooms. There were even countless flowers and fruit trees planted there. There were countless swan birds circling and flying about, dragging out dazzling colors. There was even a faint aroma of delicious food coming from the building, as if someone was cooking delicacies. A city that could fly? A fortress in the sky? All the contestants, except for the group of youths from the Hex Heroes region, stretched their necks and stared at the moving city in the sky. They had never seen such a magnificent building before. Wow. Boss, this is too spectacular. There are 100 floors. Each floor has hundreds and thousands of rooms. Fatty seems to be able to smell the fragrance of wine. Fatty Zhu exclaimed. Every room looks so exquisite and beautiful, Mo Qingtong said with a smile. Mo Qingtong laughed. There must be a fragrant and warm bed in the room. I should be able to take a bath, right? I haven't taken a bath for many days. What a spectacular sight. Xiaohan also clicked his tongue. This is a moving city. Now everyone enter it. The moving city will bring you to the third examination hall. There will be about 5 days of flying time. In fact, the reason why we used this moving city to carry everyone was because we considered that everyone would be mentally and physically exhausted after 2 examinations, so we gave everyone a chance to rest and replenish their energy. In this moving city, there is the most exquisite food, the warmest accommodation, the most elegant scenery, and the most convenient morning clothes. Ha! Everyone can relax and rest for a few days, Qin Shifeng announced with a smile. Many contestants almost cheered. Indeed, after 2 rounds, everyone was physically and mentally exhausted. They would not be able to face the 3rd round in their best condition. Appropriate rest and adjustment were very necessary. Xiao Yunrong stood beside Xiaohan and yawned. Then she quickly covered her mouth and looked at Xiaohan embarrassedly. She blushed and explained in a low voice. I want to sleep. But unexpectedly, Xiaohan's stomach failed to live up to his expectations and began to rumble. I am extremely hungry. I'm sleepy and hungry. In the moving city, no one is allowed to fight or kill. Otherwise you will be killed. Qin Shifeng suddenly stopped smiling and said seriously, Now I will assign you to different floors of the moving city. You will not live on the same floor. Remember, when you live in the moving city, you must not overstep the boundaries. Do not trespass into the areas where other contestants live. If anyone dares to start a fight, I will personally execute them. Qin Shifeng began to assign the contestants to different floors. Perhaps intentionally, Xiaohan and the others were not assigned to the same floor as the people from the Devil Hero region. It was staggered. After the assignment, under Qin Shifeng's lead, the contestants flew up and entered the floor area of the moving city. The head examiner seems to be taking good care of that bastard. He actually arranged for us to be on different floors. He seems to be afraid that we will interrogate him, a young man from the Devil Hero region said indignantly. It doesn't matter. Another person waved his hand. Anyway, we can't fight in the moving city. Even if we are on the same floor as him, it is not convenient for us to fight. If we break the rules, we will be expelled. The loss outweighs the gain. Now that the preliminaries are far from over, we will have many opportunities to deal with him in the following rounds. We will let him know what it means to live a life worse than death. Yes. If there is a chance in the 3rd round, we must torture him to death. More than 3,000 contestants, together with Qin Shifeng, flew into the moving city and each occupied a floor. Boom. The huge moving city flew towards the east at a speed that was definitely not slow. It gradually left the sea and flew towards the 3rd round's examination venue. Devil Hero Tower. Level 20. Wu Hao, the heavenly devil old man Zhu Ganglai, Xiao Mingqiu and the others. They were holding gems that refracted images. The second round is over. Wu Yu nodded. Only 3,000 contestants are left from the 10,000 contestants. We will take the moving city to the third examination venue. Junior brother Xiao Han and junior sister Hui Yang passed the second round together. Dongfang Qin was overjoyed. This is really not easy. We just don't know where the examination venue of the third round is, and we can't know the content of the third round. I'm also worried for junior brother Xiao Han and the rest. The difficulty of this time's preliminaries is really too high. Sect Master, things don't look good. Xiao Mingqiu frowned. Junior brother Xiao Han obtained a red card in the second round. Moreover, more than 10 geniuses from the Devil Hero region died. It seems to have something to do with junior brother Xiao Han. From the image of the gem just now, I saw that the Devil Hero region was full of murderous intent towards junior brother Xiao Han. If it was not for the head examiner, Qin Shifeng, who was moderating the situation, I am afraid that they would have already started fighting. It doesn't matter. Wu Yu said calmly. It was normal to offend some people or even make enemies in the preliminaries. Xiao Han is a person who shows off his abilities. Don't expect him to pass through the rounds calmly. There will definitely be all kinds of tribulations, which is also a kind of tempering for him. From the image just now, I saw that Xiao Han's spirit and aura have become much more rounded. It seems that he has received a lot of benefits. He has become stronger. Devil Hero Pagoda. An extremely high level. The group of old antiques calmed down after their rage. However, their faces were terrifyingly gloomy. Runes intertwined and their aura was like a dragon, as if they could jump up and kill at any moment. Alright, we have no right to interfere in the competition. Although more than 10 disciples have died, most of the children have entered the third round. Now, the children should be very clear in their hearts who the real murderer is. I think the children can handle this matter very well. The image on the gem froze and showed Xiao Han's image. Find a way to investigate this kid's background. One of the old antiques smiled viciously and stared at Xiao Han's image with a venomous look in his eyes. Investigate his family background and the situation of his sect. Chapter 186. Xiao Han and his companions were assigned to a certain floor in the middle of the mobile city. Only after entering the mobile city did Xiao Han realize how big it was. Just this floor alone had a street that was more than 100 feet wide. The marble floor was as smooth as new, making it look luxurious. Flowers and trees were planted on both sides of the street. There were endless flower beds decorated with colorful butterflies and bees flying among them. There were also exquisite layout, elegant environment, and garden buildings with small bridges and flowing water. It was extremely graceful. The air was filled with a fragrant smell. It was like makeup but also like the moving body fragrance of a young girl. On both sides of the street, there were some taverns, wooden pavilions and even pill shops and weapon shops. They also sold top-grade true chi spirit stones and other things. Whether it was the tavern or any other shop, there were enthusiastic middle-aged men and women in charge of reception. They were all people at the true chi realm, but their cultivation was not very high. Most of them were at the second or third level of true chi. They all had one thing in common: a formal smile, thoughtful etiquette and a friendly reception. However, if you wanted to interrogate them, it was impossible. Xiao Han and his companions enjoyed a free meal in a tavern, and then wandered leisurely on the street. Xiao. Outside the mobile city, auspicious birds would occasionally fly past. Their feathers were extremely bright and beautiful, and they emitted crisp and joyful bird cries. They were harmless to humans and animals. There were even some apes and cranes walking around the streets, not afraid of people. The mobile city was flying, but people didn't seem to feel anything. It was calm. Wow boss, it's really comfortable here. Fatty Zhu sniffed the fragrance in the air. There's a woman's fragrance. Diske damn Fatty, you're quite wretched. Mo Qingtong mocked. Fatty Zhu laughed dryly and quickly changed the topic. Boss, what do you think of this place? It's very comfortable. It makes people forget their stress and worries. Xiao Han thought about his words. Feels like a leisurely vacation. If it wasn't for the fact that the third stage is about to arrive, I would definitely enjoy it. I might even stay here for a few months. That's right, this place is like a self-sufficient small world. However, the people here are hypocritical. He seemed to be attentive when dealing with people, but he always kept them at arm's length. In the tavern just now, I asked the waiter a few questions, but he cleverly avoided all of them, Hua Fan said helplessly. Forget it. Don't expect to get any information about the third stage here. Xiao Yunrong shrugged. Didn't the chief examiner of the second round, Qin Shifeng, say that the venue for the third round is in an extremely beautiful place? PF. Big sister is so childish. You still believe the words of the chief examiner? More than half of the participants died in the second round, and now there are only about 3,000 people left. The third round will only be more cruel and terrible. Under natural selection, I'm afraid only about 1,000 people will survive. Mo Qingtong's expression gradually became a little grim. It is said that hundreds of devil heroes will be born in this trial. If I'm not wrong, there will be a final round of assessment after the third stage. Oh? Miss Mo, do you mean that there are only 4 rounds of the devil hero trial this time? Xiao Han was stunned. This is just my guess. Mo Qingtong smiled sweetly at Xiao Han. At this time, a group of vigorous men and women came from the opposite side of the street. All of them were strong and tall, and their flesh was shining as if they were bathed in holy light. They seemed to be the younger generation from the great wilderness. When they saw Xiao Han, they stopped at the same time and looked at him strangely. Some of the men even looked fierce. The young man at the front was wearing a royal robe, on which there were many ancient divine beasts, such as Pai Xiu, Sky Dragon, 5-color Luan. They were vivid and lifelike like living creatures. They emitted a heart-palpitating murderous aura as if they could jump out and eat people at any time. The young man was surrounded by golden clouds and intertwined bone texts. True Qi rushed out of his head and turned into the phantoms of ancient beasts such as Swanee and Tao Tai. With a slight movement of his body, there was a violent tornado raging and the wind and clouds surging. His momentum was no weaker than that of the geniuses from the Devil Hero region. Xiao Han, that young man seems to be from the royal family of a mysterious ancient country in the great wilderness. He's no small matter. Mo Qingtong whispered in Xiao Han's ear. Xiao Han nodded slightly, but his expression did not change as he walked straight ahead. His companions quickly followed behind Xiao Han. The pupils of the youth from the great wilderness constricted. When Xiao Han and the others walked past him, he spoke indifferently. People of the 4 regions, you can give that red card to this prince. This prince is willing to exchange a few jars of ancient vicious beast blood with you. A red card could be used to obtain special treatment in the third stage of the test. It was a trump card that could help one pass the test. I won't trade. Xiao Han didn't even look back as he led his companions away. The eyes of the young man from the great wilderness flickered with coldness, filled with killing intent. The scene of tens of thousands of beasts contending for supremacy flashed past his eyes. It was extremely desolate and his aura was so imposing that it could shake the heavens and earth. Song Dragon Crown Prince, this person from the 4 regions is extremely arrogant. He actually rejected your request. It seems like we should find a chance to let him witness the killing methods of the children of the great wilderness. A young man in beast clothing said fiercely. He was able to kill the arrogant members of the Wuxia region and thinks that he is unparalleled among the younger generation. This prince will let him understand one thing. The children of the great wilderness are not weaker than those fellows from the Wuxia region. Alright, this prince will remember this guy. The Song Dragon Crown Prince's eyes flashed with hostility as he led the crowd away. In an elegant restaurant on the side of the long street. On the second floor. A yellow-clothed man and a black-clothed man sat opposite each other and drank wine. Their gazes retracted from the long street. That young man seems to be from the southern region. He actually hid his strength well. He didn't hesitate to offend the group of geniuses from the Wuxia region to take the lead and obtain the red card. He's in the limelight for a while. The black-clothed man sneered. Tang Feiping, the purpose of us participating in the Wuxia selection this time is to play with the newbies. That young man is dazzling and must be full of ambition now. He thinks that he will definitely become a Wuxia, right? If we can step on him, that will be great. I really want to see his unwilling and desperate eyes. Ah. The yellow-clothed man couldn't help laughing. Shenqi, that person is not simple. He can kill the geniuses of the Wuxia region one after another. His combat strength is too abnormal. Even if the 2 of us join forces, I'm afraid that we are no match for him. It is very likely that we will be killed by him. For us, this is also the last chance to become a Wuxia. Don't go too far. The black-clothed man Tang Feiping said cautiously. Tang Feiping, you are too meticulous. You and I both like to play with newbies. This is the greatest pleasure in this life. Don't worry, although that young man is enchanting, he is still a newbie after all. We have all participated in the previous Wuxia selection and accumulated indescribable experience. It is not comparable to those young masters and ladies from the Wuxia region. As long as we plan properly, it is not impossible to play with that young man to death. The yellow-clothed man Shen Qi laughed sinisterly. If we don't play this time, we won't be able to in the future. Besides, that young man has now become the target of public criticism. Not only will the geniuses of the Wuxia region want to kill him, but the other contestants will also plot against him. Therefore, his situation is actually very dangerous. What we need to do is to find the best opportunity to strike and directly destroy him. He must have a lot of secrets on him. When the time comes, we will get them and they will become the foundation for our rise to become outstanding Wuxia. The black-clothed man Tang Feiping thought for a few breaths. His eyes flashed with a touch of excitement and he nodded heavily. Okay, we will lock this young man as our prey. Xiao Han and his companions walked to a place similar to a courtyard. The wooden door was open, and there were many flowers and trees planted inside as well as a large number of bonsai. It was indescribably poetic and picturesque. Well, we will stay here for the next few days. Xiao Han nodded with satisfaction and stepped in. Soon he called out to his companions. There are more than a dozen rooms here that are unoccupied. We will occupy them. Ah, come in. Fatty Zhu and Mo Qingtong and the others all stepped in. 1 room per person. Choose at will. Xiao Han smiled. He liked the environment here very much. It was quiet and clean. Brother Xiao, along the way, it seems that the other participants are very unkind to you, as if they want to scheme against you, Mo Qingtong said with a slight frown. Fatty Zhu laughed foolishly at the side. They are jealous of Boss Xiao. Think about it, in the second round, the only red card was taken by our boss Xiao. Who wouldn't be jealous? As the saying goes, geniuses are envied. Anyway, since things have come to this, let's take things one step at a time. Different situations call for different measures. Xiao Han, on the other hand, did not care. He quickly picked an antique house and started yelling. The bed is so big. Mo Qingtong couldn't help but cover her mouth and laugh. Then she also chose a room and began to shout. We can take a bath. It's so comfortable. Just like that, the 5 of them stayed in the courtyard for a full 5 days. Usually, they would only leave the courtyard and go to the food stalls on the street when it was time to eat. The rest of the time they would stay in the courtyard and cultivate. Fortunately, no one came to disturb them, allowing Xiao Han and the others to enjoy a few days of peace. In the past few days, Xiao Han also seized the time to replenish the true qi that he had consumed and did some homework to nurture his saber intent. After a few days, Xiao Han's spirit soared to the sky. He was in high spirits and full of vigor. He was full of confidence for the upcoming 3rd round. 5 days later. The sound of the morning wind resounded throughout the mobile city. Attention all participants, we have arrived at the examination venue for the 3rd round of the Devil Hero trial. Please prepare to enter the examination venue. Boss Xiao. We've arrived at the examination venue. Fatty Zhu shouted in the courtyard. Xiao Han walked out of his room with a refreshed look on his face. Let's go. Mo Qingtong, Xiao Yunrong and Hua Fan all dressed neatly and walked out valiantly. The 5 of them left the courtyard together. Every participant living on each floor was ready to go. They ran across the long street and prepared to enter the examination venue. Thousands of participants stood on the huge balcony on each floor and stared at the examination venue. The examination venue was floating in the air. However, it did not move. It stood in the air as if it had taken root, like a city in the sky. To everyone's surprise, the chief examiner of the 2nd round, Qin Shifeng, did not lie this time. The examination venue for the 3rd round was not the demonic land that was filled with evil spirits and was close to hell, but a beautiful city in the sky. There were undulating mountains in the city in the sky. The peaks were beautiful, and the palaces and pavilions were dotted with waterfalls and flowing springs. It was a very peaceful, pure land. Peach blossoms bloomed everywhere, and the fragrance of flowers assailed one's nostrils. The blue sky and white clouds stretched for thousands of miles. The peach blossoms were intoxicating and infinitely fragrant. The warm spring breeze was so affectionate. Colorful petals floated all over the sky. They were fragrant and soft, making one's heart feel numb. The most captivating scenery was the flowers that were hundreds of feet long, blooming like the divine flowers of legends. Beautiful spirits seemed to be brewing in the flowers. There were also auspicious clouds and auspicious qi running through the east, west, north and south, lingering around the city in the sky. Fallen petals were everywhere, and a rain of flowers was falling. This place was really like a fairyland. There was not a trace of murderous and ominous atmosphere. It was very peaceful. It was even to the extent that any evil and vicious thoughts were blasphemous in this place. All the contestants' gazes were somewhat dazed. They were infatuated with this dreamlike fairyland. The moving city slowly approached the city in the sky. Ha ha ha, I didn't lie to you, did I? I said that the examination venue for the third round would be a fairyland of peach blossoms, like a dream. Now that you've seen it with your own eyes, you should believe me, right? Qin Shifeng laughed proudly. It's possible that the difficulty of the third round will be much lower than the second round. It can't be, right? Boss Xiao, this place is so beautiful that I can't associate it with death and slaughter. But the Hex Hero preliminaries are inseparable from death, not to mention this year's competition, which has the highest death rate. What will the third test be? Fatty Zhu looked confused. Yeah, this third round is completely confusing. Xiao Han also couldn't understand. He activated the spirit turtle True Qi and sealed the Demon Emperor's palm tattoo on his left arm and the demon eye between his eyebrows tightly. He frowned. But I believe that the Hex Hero trial will definitely be more difficult than the previous one. Therefore we must not let our guard down in this third round. After a pause, Xiao Han said subconsciously. In this fairyland that's as beautiful as a painting, there's most likely a fairy-like woman. Oh right, the chief examiner of the second round, Qin Shifeng, said that the chief examiner of the third round is a peerless beauty who is as beautiful as a fairy. Brother Xiao, you must be looking forward to it, right? Mo Qingtong's watery eyes rippled as she glanced at Xiao Han. Her tone was a little jealous. At this moment, in an instant, thousands of colorful lights shot out from the city in the sky and connected to the moving city. Every ray of colorful light transformed into a rainbow bridge that shone brilliantly and flickered like flickering light and passing shadows. There were exactly 3,340 rainbow bridges, which was exactly the number of contestants participating in the third round of assessment. The next moment, a gentle wind chime-like female voice sounded. Welcome to the third round of this year's Hex Hero trial. As you can see, there are 3,340 rainbow bridges leading to the city in the sky. Please choose one. Remember, each person can choose one rainbow bridge. 2 or more people can't choose the same rainbow bridge at the same time. This is the rule. Those who violate the rule will be eliminated. The voice was like spring water, trickling gently and warming people's hearts. It made people who heard it feel a sweet feeling rising in their hearts. The tone was light, not coquettish, not fierce, not soft and weak. It was pleasant to listen to, like the high mountains and flowing water, making people unable to have the will to disobey. They were willing to do as she said. Soon there were hundreds of contestants, fascinated, each chose a rainbow bridge and stepped on it. Let's go, we also choose a bridge. Xiao Han took a deep breath. I think the third round of assessment has already begun at this moment. Chapter 187. There were a total of 7 rainbow bridges that connected the moving city and the beautiful city in the sky. Each participant would take one. Unspecified currency. Unspecified currency. From this point on, the third stage of the Hex trial had officially kicked off. Phew! Xiao Han spat out a mouthful of turbid air and randomly chose a rainbow bridge. He stepped on the one that extended to his feet. Boss Xiao, are we going to each choose a bridge and go our separate ways? Don't. Boss, you have to protect this fatty. Fatty Zhu scowled miserably. He actually wanted to step onto the rainbow bridge that Xiao Han had chosen. Fatty, do you want to be eliminated? Mo Qingtong shouted. It's fine if you want to be eliminated, but don't drag Xiao Han down. Go to the side. She pushed Fatty Zhu and then stepped forward, stepping on the rainbow bridge that was adjacent to Xiao Han. Oh. Fatty Zhu was startled for a moment. That's right. If 2 contestants choose the same rainbow bridge, they will be eliminated. Thinking of this, he seemed to have come to a sudden realization and hurriedly chose one of his own, which was not far away from Xiao Han. Xiao Yunrong and Huo Wu looked at each other. Sister Yunrong, good luck. Sister Huo Wu, good luck too. The 2 girls took a deep breath and chose a rainbow bridge respectively. Soon, on the rainbow bridge there was a contestant standing on each side. Uneasiness, nervousness, curiosity, expectation, suspicion, excitement. All kinds of emotions lingered in the hearts of these contestants. Xiao Han looked left and right and finally his gaze fell on the rainbow bridge under his feet. In fact, it could be called a single log bridge. It was too narrow and narrow. It was soft to step on like cotton. From the beginning of the rainbow bridge of the mobile city to the sky city on the other side, it was about 200 steps. However, none of the contestants moved rashly. All of them stopped and held their breath. Qin Fengchen crossed his arms and floated in the air, watching this scene with interest. The woman's voice that was as gentle as water rang out again. Contestants, please take 100 steps forward. Remember, your pace must be neither fast nor slow. While walking you cannot use true qi, leap or bounce. He could not take a step more, nor could he take a step less. Violators will be eliminated, let's begin. The contestants were stunned for a moment before they carefully walked forward. Every step was as if they were walking on thin ice, and they followed the rules, afraid that they would make a mistake. It was as if he was really walking on a single-plank bridge with fear and trepidation. If he was not careful, he would be consigned to eternal damnation. Everyone was counting silently in their hearts. 1 step, 2 steps, 3 steps, 70 steps, 80 steps. Xiaohan walked at a normal pace. In his mind there were a lot of guesses, but he still couldn't figure it out. Why is the third round of examination so weird? As for what the test is about, I still don't have the slightest clue. Just as Xiaohan reached the 100th step, then something strange happened. An inexplicable force instantly seized Xiaohan, causing all of Xiaohan's acupoints to be sealed, and the power of his body to be confined. Even the demon monarch's palm tattoo on his left arm was restrained and could not be used at all. Not only that, the space around him seemed to be compressed, causing Xiaohan to be unable to move an inch. Unable to move forward, unable to retreat, he was stuck in the middle of the rainbow bridge. There was a terrifying and strange feeling of a piece of meat on a chopping board. What's going on? Xiaohan was shocked. Not only Xiaohan, but all the contestants were the same. What's going on? I can't move an inch. All of a sudden, all the contestants booed. All of the true energy in his body was sealed, his body was locked, and he couldn't even move. This feeling was very scary and indescribable. It was like there was no way out, and even his fate couldn't be controlled in his own hands. Xiao. Fatty is so scared. Fatty Zhu was on a rainbow bridge next to Xiaohan. His legs were trembling and he looked at Xiaohan with a sad face. Calm down. Xiaohan quickly adapted to this sudden change and said in a deep voice. At this time, a gentle female voice sounded again. Please don't panic. The third round of the hex trial has begun. From now on, anything that you encounter will be part of the content of the assessment. As soon as the voice fell, a red glow rose into the sky, the divine light floated, the clouds were steaming, and a faint song sounded from all directions in the sky. Under the heavy curtains in the hall of Macho, the night is thin and long, the life of a goddess is originally a dream, the little ant has no husband, the storm does not believe that the water chestnut branch is weak, who taught the fragrance of the moon dew. There is no benefit in longing, there is no harm in melancholy, it is pure madness. This song was gentle and low, the lingering charm was like the sound of nature, making people forget about their worries and want to continue. For a moment, all the doubts in the hearts of all the contestants disappeared, and their hearts were completely calm, free of dust and dirt. Above the city in the sky, a huge lotus appeared. It was holy and unparalleled, with millions of petals stacked on top of each other. It was spectacular, like a treasure lotus mountain. The treasure light swayed, dreamy and mysterious. At the top of the lotus sat a graceful woman with jade-like skin, especially crystal clear. She looked to be in her 20s, and she was a peerless beauty that could cause the downfall of a city. However, her eyes were filled with the experience of going through many trials and tribulations, causing her entire person to have an invincible charm. Her whole body was surrounded by colorful clouds, and her whole body was overflowing with color, making her jade body look like it was carved out of jade, surging with mist and ethereal charm, with a kind of noble and inviolable temperament. She made people unable to see her cultivation level, but in her watery eyes, there were faint traces of time and space. It gave people the illusion that even if they attacked her at close range, they would absolutely not succeed. Thousands of contestants, thousands of pairs of eyes, were staring straight at her. They held their breath. The chief examiner of the first round was a grumpy old man with a lame leg. The chief examiner of the second round was Qin Fengchen, who was known as an extreme psychopath. Originally, everyone thought that the chief examiner of the third round would be an unparalleled demon who was even more vicious and perverted than Qin Fengchen and the lame leg. Never would they have thought that it would be such a peerless and beautiful goddess. This caused every contestant to have great doubts about the content of the third round. The temperament of this goddess was very gentle, and even had a kind of feeling of pity for the state of the universe. No one dared to believe that she would think of some cruel test questions to torture the contestants. "Hello, contestants. I am the chief examiner of the third round, Lung Ryu," the woman said elegantly. Chen Feng whistled frivolously, his eyes filled with strong admiration as he looked at Lung Ryu, a little infatuated. All of a sudden, bang, 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 bang. In the sky there were densely packed explosions. Hundreds and thousands of magic eye stones from all angles recorded the situation of every contestant on every rainbow bridge. The atmosphere became slightly tense, like a taut bowstring. Monster Hero Pagoda. Level 29. A large number of images floated in the hall, thousands of rainbow bridges, thousands of contestants, and Lung Ryu sitting on a lotus platform. The third round of assessment was about to begin. "It's her?" Crow King was slightly surprised. "I didn't expect the third round of assessment to be hosted by her. Now it's not very fun." The Heavenly Devil old man's face was as dark as water. Yaoxia Tower. Extremely high level. A group of old antiques also watched the images and whispered to each other. "The third round will be hosted by Lung Ryu? Oh no. This is not good. Why would a woman like Lung Ryu be the chief examiner of this Yaoxia trial? It's unfair." An old antique said slightly exasperatedly. Well, everyone watched the competition carefully. The entire schedule of the Yaoxia trial is not something we can question or participate in. It's even more impossible to change it. Another old antique said worriedly. Before the assessment officially begins, Lung Ryu would like to ask everyone, what do you think is the most important factor for a contestant to pass the Yaoxia trial, which is known as the most cruel in history? Lung Ryu asked with a smile. Strong combat power. A young man from the great wilderness immediately said in a clear voice. Indomitable will and indomitable spirit. A young man from the East region said after thinking for a moment. Those who can continuously improve during the assessment should be qualified to become Yaoxia. A talented young man from the Yaoxia region said in an experienced and prudent manner. The contestants had different opinions. Strength, realm, combat power, means, will, comprehension, talent. They said a lot. Every one of them seemed to be reasonable. Xiao Han didn't say a word. He glanced around and accidentally saw Hua Fan and Xiao Yunrong, who were full of anxiety. Suddenly a sudden thought seized Xiao Han. Senior sister Hua Fan and Xiao Yunrong shouldn't have participated in the main competition with their strength. They should have been eliminated in the South Region preliminaries, but they were lucky and didn't encounter any seeded contestants in the preliminaries, so they were lucky enough to break through. Then, relying on luck, they passed the first round, the second round. I think the most important factor should be luck. Xiao Han blurted out. As soon as he said this, the audience suddenly quieted down. Many contestants looked at Xiao Han with disdain. This person is really useless. The Yaoxia preliminaries are all about combat power and psychological quality. He actually wants to rely on luck to become a Yaoxia. Oh. Lung Ryu turned her eyes and looked directly at Xiao Han from the thousands of people, with a faint smile at the corner of her mouth. What? Young man, do you think that the most important factor to participate in the Yaoxia preliminaries is luck? Well? Xiao Han touched his nose a little embarrassedly, hesitated for a moment and still said. Senior examiner, I think that whether it is participating in the Yaoxia preliminaries, cultivating true qi or even hunting demons, luck is the most important factor, followed by combat power, intelligence, psychological quality and so on. Of course, it's not pure luck that can make people reach the top in one step. Realm and strength are equally important, but I think luck is ranked first. Above everything else. On the other side, Qin Feng heard Xiao Han's words and suddenly closed his eyes, with a thoughtful expression on his face. Some contestants immediately nodded involuntarily. Luck. Lung Ryu completely burst into a smile, with an expression of admiration in her eyes. Well said. Luck, that is fate. Luck was the key to everything. If you have good luck, you will not be harmed by any calamities in your life. Even if there are calamities, you will be able to turn misfortune into good luck and rise rapidly. If your luck is bad, you will not be able to escape death. Among you, some of you will definitely become Yaoxia in the future. Luck is extremely important to you, it's a matter of life and death. In the battle against the demons in the future, besides combat power and experience, luck is also very important. This time, the third round of assessment is the assessment of luck. This round can roughly predict your future luck. Of course, this is only a very vague prediction. Some people can change their fate and reverse their luck. The third round assessment of luck. Those who have bad luck in their life will be eliminated. Those who have good luck will stay and enter the next round. This time there is only one assessment in the Yaoxiao preliminaries. In other words, if you can pass this assessment of luck, then you will successfully enter the fourth round, which is also the last round. This is the second to last round? That's great. If you pass this round, you will enter the last round. You have a high chance of becoming a Yaoxiao. But isn't the assessment of luck a little too mysterious? How can you judge a person's future luck? Ryu cultivates the great destiny divine technique and simulated a game of fate. Now all of you can participate. Lung Ryu smiled. Remember, Ryu's cultivation is still low, so she can't accurately predict the fate of the universe. She can only make a vague evaluation. Among you, there will definitely be someone who will go against the heavens and steal fate. But first, pass this third round. Sometimes you will get what you want, but don't force it. The third round, Game of Fate. Activate. To be continued. Chapter 188. Game of Fate? Testing luck? Almost all the contestants were dumbfounded. The third stage of the test was indeed too mysterious. Fate was intangible, ever-changing and difficult to grasp. Moreover, the past could be predicted, but who could predict and grasp the future? Even immortals couldn't predict their own fate, right? Now the contestants were not sure. If it was fighting in the ring, breaking through the secret realm, walking through the maze, or even guessing riddles, they could all be seen and touched. At least they could control it. But fate was too mysterious. At this time, Lung Ryu's gentle and elegant voice sounded again. Contestants, you are now in the middle of the Rainbow Bridge. Go forward 100 steps and you will reach the Sky City. Go back 100 steps and you will return to the Mobile City. One going forward and one retreating, the situation is completely different. Now you are all bound by the power of fate. If you want to move, you need to throw the die of fate. As soon as she finished speaking, dense divine light and runes rushed out of Lung Ryu's head, intertwining in the air and forming a huge die. It was a 6-sided die. It was engraved with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. These 6 numbers. The game of fate is very simple. Use your mental strength and soul power to hit the die of fate, at will. According to the points you get, you will decide your steps. For example, if you get 1 point, you will move forward 1 step. If you get 2 points, you will move forward 2 steps. If you get 6 points, you will move forward 6 steps. There is no technique to hit the die of fate. In fact, the points you get are simulated according to your luck. In the end, the contestants who can move forward 100 steps and reach the Sky City will be considered to have passed the third test and will be qualified to enter the fourth test. They will be able to compete for the position of Devil Hero. As soon as she said this, the contestants gradually understood some of the rules of the game. Every contestant was now in the middle of the Rainbow Bridge. If they walked forward 100 steps and stepped into the Sky City, they would be considered to have passed the test. But every step had to be based on the points of the die of fate. They couldn't walk randomly and they couldn't walk at all. This test indeed had nothing to do with one's combat power, realm, willpower, etc. It was completely a test of luck and character. Relatively speaking, this kind of illusory test might be very unfair to participants with tyrannical combat strength. Now the geniuses of the Devil Hero region all looked indignant. Besides the eldest senior brother who'd been comprehending the profundities with his eyes closed, all the other geniuses had gloomy expressions. They were confident that their battle prowess was the most outstanding among this batch of participants. If they fought with their swords and spears, they would be able to firmly control the probability and initiative of passing the stage. However, the game of fate made it so that they could only resign themselves to fate. They were unable to display their strength. No matter how strong they were, if they were unlucky, they would still be eliminated. As for the participants who were originally weak, they were all secretly delighted. Participants, you can treat the 100 steps before you as a microcosm of your destiny. There would be all kinds of fortuitous encounters, all kinds of disasters and all kinds of tribulations. Some participants might have a difficult fate, while others might have a smooth journey. Lung Ryu smiled. Immediately, participants, please take a look. At this moment, a white card appeared in Lung Ryu's slender hand. It seemed to be carved out of some gemstone and was about the size of a palm. Talismans and seal characters flowed on the card, emitting a mysterious and unfathomable aura. The white card is a reward card. As you walk, you will be rewarded with a white card. The reward card will reward you with advancing 1 to 20 steps. Pooh! After saying that, Lung Ryu flicked the white card, causing it to float in the air. Then she took out a black card. The black card is a punishment card. Once you obtain it, you must retreat 1 to 20 steps. The purple card is a treasure card. After obtaining the purple card, you can obtain all kinds of treasures according to the description on the card, including true Qi divine technique secret manuals, treasured weapons, treasured medicines, and so on. The yellow card is a calamity card. Once you obtain it, you will encounter terrifying tribulations, such as black nightmare wine tribulation, heart demon tribulation, boulder tribulation, leaf fire tribulation. After obtaining the calamity card, you must personally endure all kinds of tribulations. If you can resolve them, then it's fine and you can continue this game of fate. If you can't resolve them, then you might die from the tribulations and tribulations. The orange card is a meeting on a narrow path card. To obtain this card, you must fight against the participant specified on the card. The winner will continue and the loser will be eliminated. Moreover, the winner can devour the loser's luck. The dead gray card is a bad luck card. To obtain this card, you will immediately die and turn into ashes. This is the most terrifying card. It is even more terrifying than the calamity card. The blue card is a banishment card. Once you obtain it, you will be banished from the examination ground. It is equivalent to instant elimination. The gold card is a supreme ruler card. You can obtain a chance to control another person's fate. In other words, the participant who obtains this card can kill any other participant at will. The red card is a lucky card. To obtain this card, you can eliminate negative effects that are detrimental to you once. For example, you can eliminate tribulations, bad luck, banishment, and the killing of other participants. As Lung Ryu spoke, she flicked her fingers and the cards with different colors and effects were all sent floating in the air. Everyone, please familiarize yourself with the functions of these cards. Lung Ryu smiled faintly. Thousands of participants looked at the various cards floating in the air. White, reward card; black, punishment card; purple, treasure card; yellow, calamity card; orange, meeting on a narrow path card; dead gray, bad luck card; blue, banishment card; gold, supreme ruler card; red, lucky card. There were a total of 9 types of cards. In the next moment, Lung Ryu started chanting, and her expression became extremely solemn and solemn. In an instant, numerous talisman markings that twisted like dragons and snakes bloomed out from her body, and dense rays of light radiated out. White light, black light, violet light, yellow light, orange light, deathly gray light, blue light, gold light, red light. Game of fate. Lung Ryu chanted. Her tone was obscure and deep like the voice of fate. Countless runes and all kinds of light rays intertwined and fused, forming many cards. They were densely packed and endless. Swoosh, 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 the cards swarmed out and entered every rainbow bridge. They were so deeply integrated into it that the participants could not distinguish them. However, there was no doubt that there were all kinds of cards hidden in every rainbow bridge. Maybe it was a reward card, a bad luck card, or a banishment card. Buzz, 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 every rainbow bridge flickered with misty and beautiful light. Soon the rainbow bridges were numbered. From left to right, Rainbow Bridge 1 to Rainbow Bridge 3340. Xiaohan looked at his position. He was standing on Rainbow Bridge 1511. Then, the game of fate officially begins. Rainbow Bridge 1 participant, the first to hit the die of fate. You will receive points. Lung Ryu's voice was tinged with excitement. Let me repeat for the last time. This game of fate was simulated by Ryu using the Great Fate Divine technique. It cannot accurately deduce everyone's future luck. It is only a rough estimate. Please do not feel too much pressure in this game. I believe that everyone has the ability to defy the heavens and seize fate. Just treat this as a small game for the 3rd stage of the exam. The game of fate officially began. The participant standing on the first rainbow bridge from the left was a youth from the southern region. Xiaohan did not know this person, but they had met a few times. This youth from the southern region was very nervous. He panted heavily and only closed his eyes after a dozen breaths. A wave of mental energy mixed with soul aura directly hit the die of fate. Hua! The die of fate floating in midair completely absorbed the mental energy and soul aura of the youth from the southern region and began to spin rapidly. After a few breaths, the rotation stopped. One side of the die of fate shot out a ray of light, projecting the number on this side onto the first rainbow bridge. 6. The youth from the southern region actually hit a 6. He could advance 6 steps. A deep and cryptic voice immediately resounded through the heavens and earth. Please advance 6 steps. Who? The youth from the southern region felt his body relax. The condensed space opened up again, causing the shackles and restraints on him to disappear. He regained his ability to move. With a heart clenched, the youth from the southern region advanced 6 steps with the most standard steps. During these 6 steps he did not receive any cards. After 6 steps, the space solidified again, causing him to be unable to move an inch. Oh, I'm quite lucky. Although I didn't receive any reward cards, I didn't receive any frightening or unlucky cards either. I'm steady, advancing step by step. I'm still 94 steps away from passing the stage. The youth from the southern region let out a long sigh of relief. His tightly knitted brows relaxed. The game progressed extremely quickly. After the first contestant finished, the second contestant followed closely behind and used his mental energy and soul aura to hit the die of fate. The corresponding number would appear and determine how many steps to advance. This game of fate looks very simple. But it does contain all sorts of dangers. In fact, the third stage is definitely much more difficult than the second stage. After all, in the second stage the initiative was completely in my hands and I could advance or retreat at will. But in the third stage it's very passive. Xiaohan thought. Just like that, the contestants used their mental energy to hit the die of fate one by one and advanced according to the number on the die. Up until contestant 239, no cards appeared. The game continued uneventfully. The contestants who had yet to hit the die of fate watched the game for a while and simply closed their eyes to rest. They waited quietly. It wasn't until contestant 304 that the scene became somewhat magnificent. This was a genius girl from the Wuxia region. Her mental energy hit the die of fate and a number 2 appeared. This was not a very good number and could only allow her to advance 2 steps. In the end, when she took her second step with a face full of disappointment, the rainbow bridge under her feet suddenly fluctuated and a white light shot up into the sky. A white card floated above her head. White card. She stepped on the reward card. The contestants from all directions became alert. The heavy and obscure voice that contained the aura of history and fate spoke unhurriedly. Congratulations, contestant. You've received a reward card. This reward card will reward you with 20 steps forward. Please advance 20 steps forward. 20 steps. The disappointed face of the girl from the Wuxia region suddenly revealed surprise and joy. She stepped forward step by step and advanced a total of 20 steps. In other words, she had advanced a total of 22 steps and was 78 steps away from passing the stage. It seems that my life's luck is extremely prosperous. The girl clenched her fists tightly and began to look confidently at the other side of the rainbow bridge. Behind the girl from the Wuxia region was a youth from the east region. His mental energy hit 5 points. After taking 5 steps forward, a purple light rushed out from his feet. The purple card evaporated. Congratulations, contestant. You've received a treasure card. This treasure is a Yin-Yang longevity pill. After consuming it, it can increase your lifespan by 360-year cycles. Just as he finished speaking, a scarlet pill slowly descended from the purple light. The youth from the east region reached out and grabbed the pill in his hand. He said in ecstasy. Ah, treasure card. I told you that I, Yelu Chu, am blessed with good luck. It seems that passing the third stage is predestined. Ah, interesting. This game is interesting. Boss Xiao, this game is getting interesting. Fatty Zhu's eyes shone with a mischievous light. If Fatty can also step on the purple light and obtain a treasure card, that would be great. Ha. Xiaohan laughed involuntarily. It's best if I don't get any cards at all. After a few rounds I can smoothly advance 100 steps and pass the stage. This is the ideal ending. Calamity cards, banishment cards, unlucky cards, each one is more unlucky than the other. Not long after, it was a youth's turn to hit the die of fate. His luck was actually not bad. He hit 6 points. After taking 6 steps forward, a deathly gray light appeared under his feet. A deathly gray card emitted a deathly stillness. Unfortunately, contestant, you've drawn an unlucky card. Your fate is very rough and unfortunate. It shall be erased from here. Ah? What? Unlucky card? No. I can't be so unlucky. The youth from the great wilderness let out a scream of horror and despair. The next moment, the deathly gray unlucky card shot out a beam of light and swept across. In a breath's time, the body of the youth from the great wilderness was crushed into pieces. His soul was annihilated and he died without a complete corpse. The entire audience was in awe. This is too terrifying. That youth from the great wilderness's flesh shell was incomparably strong and his entire body was flowing with crystal light, but in just a moment he turned into dust. It's simply unstoppable. Xiaohan was also anxious in his heart. Damn it, if I step on some unlucky card later, wouldn't I die as well? After the youth from the great wilderness was erased, a few other contestants stepped on the banishment card and punishment card. There was even a wave where 5 people stepped on the unlucky card and were erased one after another. All of a sudden, the game was enveloped in a layer of gloom and desolation. To be continued. Chapter 189. All the contestants had now witnessed the cruelty and helplessness of the game of fate. Yes, helplessness. Especially the contestants who stepped on the bad luck card. They had no way to save themselves and were killed right in front of their eyes. This was truly cruel to the extreme. They were like chickens and ducks on the chopping board. In the first round of the game, contestant number 1287 had just hit the die of fate, and there were already 128 bad luck cards and 49 banishing cards. The person who was currently in the lead and the closest to the finish line was a barbarian woman from the great wilderness. She had advanced 34 steps, which could be said to be an impressive achievement, but she was still 66 steps away from passing the test. She did not dare to say that she had passed. It was too difficult. Contestant number 1288 hit the die of fate. His head was wrapped in a piece of white cloth, completely concealing his hair. His temperament was otherworldly, and his entire body shone with the brilliance of jewels and treasures. There was a kind of celestial charm to him, and his expression was calm and steady like a mountain. There was even an air of transcendence to him. His eyes were closed as if he was comprehending some kind of supreme mystery. He was the eldest senior brother recognized by many geniuses of the Wuxia region. Eldest senior brother? Many masters said that you're a deity who descended from the heavens. Your physique is like an immortal's, and there was a phenomenon when you were born. You have the foundation to become an immortal. You're a genius that only appears once in 10,000 years. You'll definitely be able to pass the stage smoothly. No tribulation or disaster will be able to affect you. The geniuses of the Wuxia region shouted when they saw their eldest senior brother, the spiritual leader of their side. Eldest senior brother's face was calm. He closed his eyes and nodded slightly. He was about to release his psyche wave to hit the die of fate. Oh? This young man has some ethereal aura and is blessed by providence. He'll definitely be someone in the future. Let's see if there's anything wrong with Ryu's great destiny divine technique. Qin Fading Wind crossed his arms and looked at eldest senior brother with interest. If this person grows up smoothly, he's destined to be an all-powerful hero in the future. His potential is even higher than that of Xiaohan. He's walking on the bright path, while Xiaohan is walking on the unconventional path. Even Leng Ryu placed her attention on Su Qian. Eldest senior brother separated a wisp of psyche wave and hit the die of fate. Hua, the multicolored light spun, and when the die of fate stopped spinning, a precious light shot into the rainbow bridge under eldest senior brother's feet, revealing a 5. Please take 5 steps forward. Eldest senior brother took 5 steps forward at a steady pace. He was calm and composed, elegant and otherworldly. The 5th step, Hong, a ray of white light shot out from eldest senior brother's feet. A white reward card bathed in white light floated in the air. Congratulations, participant, you have received a reward card. This reward card will reward you with 13 steps forward. Please take 13 steps forward. Eldest senior brother's face was as calm as an ancient well, and his aura was smooth and smooth. His eyes were closed and his footsteps were light and agile as he took 13 steps in a row. Just as his right foot landed on the rainbow bridge, another white light soared into the sky. Congratulations, participant, you have received a reward card. This reward card will reward you with 18 steps forward. Please take 18 steps forward. All the contestants' eyes bulged and they all kept quiet out of fear. He had stepped on 2 reward cards in a row. This luck was simply heaven-defying. I've said it before. The moment our eldest senior brother was born, he was extraordinary. A phenomenon descended from the heavens and he has an immortal bearing. A girl from the Devil Hero region said with an infatuated expression. Eldest senior brother closed his eyes and continued taking 18 steps forward. When he finished his 18th step, another white light rushed out. Congratulations, participant, you have received a reward card. This reward card will reward you with 20 steps forward. Please take 20 steps forward. No way? He has already taken 56 steps. He stepped on the reward card 3 times in a row. What kind of luck is that? Fatty Zhu was shocked. Xiaohan was also a little dumbfounded. According to head examiner Leng Ruyu, these 100 steps are a microcosm of a person's life. Prosperity and decline, honor and disgrace, rise or fall, can be roughly calculated from these 100 steps. This fellow hit the reward card 3 times in a row and crossed 56 steps. How amazing is that? He will probably soar in the future. After eldest senior brother took 20 steps, a miracle happened again. White light poured out. Congratulations, participant, you have received a reward card. This reward card will reward you with 19 steps forward. Please take 19 steps forward. Eldest senior brother was so calm that it made people's hair stand on end. This was the 4th time he had stepped on the reward card. Judging from the luck of the previous 1287 contestants, the probability of stepping on the reward card was not high. Stepping on 2 reward cards in a row was simply rare. Only 1 person had done it. However, eldest senior brother did not stop. Every time he took the last step, he would always step on a reward card. It was as if he had practiced it in advance. This could be called a miracle. Eldest senior brother, eldest senior brother, eldest senior brother. The geniuses of the Devil Hero region all shouted together. No way. He continued to move forward and is now on the 75th step. He's only 25 steps away from passing. That's possible? Mo Qingtong was dumbfounded. Could it be that this person stepped on some kind of luck? I don't believe he can do it for the 5th time. Mo Qingtong's words were just halfway through when she suddenly choked. Eldest senior brother stepped on the reward card for the 5th time. The white light rolled like a tide. Congratulations, participant, you have received a reward card. This reward card will reward you with 20 steps forward. Please take 20 steps forward. Eldest senior brother's footsteps did not stop. He strolled leisurely on the Rainbow Bridge. He looked like an immortal and stood out from the crowd. He was like a dragon returning to the sea or a tiger roaring in the forest. 5 steps left. 5 steps left. 5 steps left. Almost all the contestants roared as if they were on steroids. They wanted to verify this miracle. His luck is really great and he's above all living beings. Qin Fengchen was moved. This person has the quality of becoming an immortal. Ryu has never seen such good luck in my life. Leng Ryu was intoxicated. Fatty is convinced, the last 5 steps, he can pass in one go, Fatty Zhu stuttered. Boss, theoretically this person will definitely be a demon in the future. His luck is second to none among the thousands of us. It's almost invincible. However, Fatty believes that boss luck is not worse than his. It's hard to say, Xiaohan said indifferently. When eldest senior brother reached the 95th step, an earth-shattering miracle happened. White light gushed out and the reward card appeared. Congratulations, contestant. You have obtained a reward card. This reward card will reward you with 10 steps forward. Please take 10 steps forward. Eldest senior brother only needed 5 steps to pass the test and reach the Sky Castle. Now that he had stepped on a reward card that allowed him to take 10 steps forward, it was more than enough. What was rare was that eldest senior brother, who had created a miracle, still had a calm expression. He did not seem surprised and was extraordinarily calm. He slowly stepped onto Sky City. Boom! Endless rays of light and auspicious chi flowed through the north, south, east, and west, lingering around eldest senior brother. Tens of thousands of rays of light, flowers fell from the sky, and golden lotuses appeared on the ground, causing eldest senior brother's aura to be like the sun in the sky. Congratulations, congratulations, the first contestant to pass the 3rd stage has appeared. Leng Ryu nodded repeatedly. Young man, if Ryu didn't make a mistake in my deduction, then your future will be filled with good luck and luck. Good, you can rest for a while. The other contestants continue the game. Eldest senior brother nodded slightly. He closed his eyes and sat cross-legged like a saint who did not eat the food of the mortal world, inviolable. All the contestants looked at eldest senior brother with eyes that were almost worshipping him. This person was too monstrous. He had stepped on the reward card 6 times in a row and passed the stage as easily as drinking water and eating. This guy is powerful. Xiaohan nodded repeatedly and mumbled. But he's too pretentious. Yaoxia Pagoda? The 29th floor. Isn't this too monstrous? Xiao Mingchu looked at the floating image in the hall and pointed at eldest senior brother who was sitting cross-legged. Sect master, with this kind of luck, his future cultivation will be at a tremendous pace. He will be a dragon among men and no calamity will be able to affect him. He even has the possibility of becoming an immortal. This person will definitely rise in the future. I know a little about Lung Ryu's Great Fate Divine Technique. It's not a small game, it is indeed a profound divine technique that can calculate a person's luck. Heavenly Devil Old Man sighed. I didn't expect such a shocking beauty to emerge from this batch of youngsters. His future achievements will far surpass us old antiques. Dark Old Man frowned. Lung Ryu's Great Fate Divine Technique has not yet reached the perfect realm. Legend has it that this strange technique that seizes the heaven and earth is a kind of immortal technique. It must be performed by an immortal, and at the cost of one's lifespan one can calculate the future. Sect Master, what do you mean? Dongfang Qin asked. In theory this young man's future will be brilliant, but it doesn't mean that he can't be killed. In fact, there is also the possibility of him dying young, but it's much smaller than others. Dark Old Man smiled faintly. We can't be too superstitious about Lung Ryu's Great Fate Divine Technique. Yaoxia Tower. A very high level. A group of old antiques. Ah, that was great. Garen's fate is so magical. When we picked him up in the great wilderness there was a vision in the sky. There was a phantom of an immortal passing by, and the treasure light soared into the sky. At that time, we guessed that Garen was probably the reincarnation of a legendary immortal. In this way, Garen will become a peerless hero that will stand for thousands of years. It's certain that his achievements will surpass ours. His future will soar to the sky. His luck is likely to affect us so that we can all benefit from it. Maybe we will also obtain immortal fate? Ah, Garen is really our best disciple. It's not in vain that we spent a lot of effort to cultivate him. No one can compete with him in this year's Yaoxia tryouts. The bad luck caused by the death of more than a dozen disciples was swept away. Now this group of old antiques were all in high spirits and overjoyed. The game of fate continued. At this time, it was Fatty Zhu's turn to hit the die of fate. After Fatty Zhu, it was Xiao Han's turn. After Xiao Han it was Emo Qing Tong, then Xiao Yunrong and Huo Fan. Now all five of them were nervous. It's Fatty's turn. It's Fatty's turn. Mommy, Daddy, I'm so nervous. How's Fatty's luck in the future? Fatty Zhu's fat face was flushed red as he trembled. Fatty, don't be nervous. Calm down, calm down. Quickly hit the die of fate. Your luck has always been good. Xiao Han encouraged him. Okay boss, I'll hit it. Fatty Zhu directly released a wisp of mental energy mixed with his soul aura. It hit the die of fate and a 5 appeared. Fatty Zhu slowly took 5 steps forward. When his last foot landed, he didn't step on any cards. Phew, Fatty Zhu heaved a sigh of relief as if he had collapsed. It's alright, it's alright. I didn't step on those damned unlucky cards. Next contestant, hurry up and hit the die of fate. Lung Ryu reminded indifferently. Brother Xiao, it's your turn. Emo Qing Tong looked at Xiao Han nervously. Xiao Han, you'll definitely be fine. Xiao Yunrong clenched her fists tightly. Junior brother Xiao Han, in the first and second stages, your luck soared to the heavens. In this life you will definitely have a flood of good fortune. We all believe in you. Huagang's face was flushed and his breathing quickened. Yaoxia Tower. On the 29th floor. Wu Hao, Old Man of Heaven's Devil, Zhu Ganglai, Xiao Mingqiu, Dongfang Qin and Fang Ling all stood up. Sect Master, I'm very nervous. Xiao Mingqiu licked his lips. Junior brother Xiao Han. I wonder what will happen. Phew. Xiao Han spat out a mouthful of turbid air. And my luck has always been pretty good. Xiao Han separated a wisp of mental energy and directly struck the die of fate. To be continued. Chapter 190. Xiao Han sent out a wisp of his spirit force, which was mixed with his own soul aura, and hit the die of destiny. This article is from Hua. The die of fate began to spin, just like the wheel of fate rolling on the ground. How is my luck? Xiao Han held his breath. He was also nervous. And now, besides Xiao Han's companions, thousands of pairs of eyes were staring at Xiao Han. The reason was that Xiao Han was too famous. In the second test, Xiao Han defeated everyone and obtained a red card. He was rewarded by the chief examiner, Qin Shifeng, and he was also the prime suspect for killing so many geniuses of the Devil Hero region. Xiao Han should also be one of those monstrous geniuses with extremely good luck. Could he be like that guy just now, stepping on the reward card and easily passing the test? I think it's very likely. Damn it, I can't accept this. This guy was in the limelight in the last test. If he does it again in this game of destiny, How can the younger generation of the true martial continent survive in the future? Let me tell you, Xiao Han is already somewhat famous in the southern region. He was born as a living target of the Pure Rain sect, and he obtained heaven-defying opportunities step by step to reach where he is today. It is said that 2 years ago the famous devil hero Great Sun Emperor and the Dragon Bone Saint Saber joined hands to hunt him down, but they failed to kill him. Don't you think his luck is good? What? Born as a living target? That's too lowly. Really too lowly. He's simply a nouveau riche. No wonder I don't like him. He doesn't have the bearing that a disciple of a sect should have. It's completely the face of a villain intoxicated by success. If a live target can suppress us and become a demon hero, then the heavenly Tao is really unfair. Alright. I think you guys are just saying that the grapes are sour because you can't eat them. You're completely jealous of Xiao Han. Shut up all of you. Let's see Xiao Han's luck. If he really has great luck and successfully completed the Rainbow Bridge and reached the other side, then he's destined to become a big shot in the future. This is the will of the heavens. No matter how much you say here, it won't change anything. Of course, to be honest, I also don't like the rise of such a small figure. He indeed lacks grace in his bones. The geniuses of the Devil Hero region looked at Xiao Han with hatred and resentment. Everyone was hoping that Xiao Han would step on the unlucky card and be killed. The die of fate rolled out a magnificent light that shot into the rainbow bridge beneath Xiao Han's feet, revealing a wand. A deep voice resounded through the heavens and earth. Please take a step forward. In an instant, Xiao Han's body relaxed, and his imprisoned body regained the ability to move. No way. Just one step and it's only 1 point? Xiao Han was in a daze, cursing his bad luck in his heart. He unwillingly took a step forward. Damn it, there are still 99 more steps before I can pass. If I keep playing like this, when will I reach the end? Right at this moment. As soon as Xiao Han's feet touched the ground, the entire rainbow bridge trembled and a yellow light soared into the sky. A yellow card appeared, and it was densely packed with runes and the word, treasure, rolled on it, emitting an extremely dangerous aura. Yellow card? Xiao Han swallowed his saliva. I fucking stepped on a yellow card? This is a calamity card. 3 calamities and 9 calamities, all kinds of calamities will destroy everything. I only fucking took 1 step and I stepped on a yellow card. Damn it. Dear participant, you have obtained a calamity card. The calamity on this calamity card is Extermination Starlight Calamity. You will be baptized and crushed by billions of Extermination Starlight. The calamity will last for 1 hour. I hope participant can successfully pass the calamity. Extermination Starlight Calamity. As soon as the voice fell, a divine light swept Xiao Han up into the sky. A crack was torn in the void and Xiao Han was sucked into it. The crack closed. It should be a temporary space, and it was filled with endless Extermination Starlight Calamity. It was going to ravage and torture Xiao Han for 1 hour. Now the rainbow bridge that belonged to Xiao Han was temporarily empty. Xiao Han was forcefully dragged into the temporary space to resist the calamity. If he couldn't resist it, he would die. His name would completely fade from the list and he would be erased. Of course, if he could resist the calamity for 1 hour, he could come back and continue the game of fate to try to pass the calamity. Boss Xiao, this Fatty Zhu was dumbfounded. No way. What's wrong with Boss? He's so unlucky. He only took 1 step and he stepped on the calamity card. Who did he offend? Mo Qingtong, Xiao Yunrong and Hui Yang were also pale. They looked worriedly at the location of the temporary space in the void. However, they couldn't see or sense what was happening inside. All they could do was pray for Xiao Han. Ha ha ha. The geniuses from the Yaoxia region all started laughing heartily. His eyes shone with a kind of pleasure of revenge and cleansing the humiliation. What's this called? A young man with a crown on his head and a jade-like face stood with his hands behind his back and said indifferently, "This is the saying, those who do evil are doomed to destruction. We've all heard of the Extermination Starlight. It's a kind of killing light refined by collecting meteorites from outer space. Every Extermination Starlight contains more than hundreds of thousands of ding of force. It has the terrifying power to shatter heaven and earth and shatter the void." It wasn't a big deal for them to withstand 1 or 2 beams of starlight or even a dozen beams of starlight. For example, the barbarians from the Great Wilderness had ridiculously strong flesh shells. They could barely withstand the starlight for a while, and it wasn't impossible for the particularly strong ones to withstand 100 beams of starlight. But this Extermination Starlight Calamity will last for a full hour. Who knows how many hundreds of thousands of extermination starlight will be released? How can they withstand it? They'll be reduced to ashes in a few moments. Xiaohan is dead. It's too easy for him to die like this. The young generation of the four regions and the great wilderness gloated and felt relieved when they saw Xiaohan being involved in the calamity. Damn it. Xiaohan deserves to die. I told you, how can a living target and an insignificant person have great luck? This time he can't escape from the calamity. He's destined to be arrogant for a while, but he'll eventually die a violent death in the third test. This is great. Now there's one less strong opponent. After holding it in for so long, let me say something. It's good that he died. Xiaohan's death is a great satisfaction. Qin Fading Wind, who was floating in the void with his arms crossed, was stunned at this moment. I can't be so unlucky, right? What kind of luck is this? It's too bad. He only took one step and he suffered the extermination starlight calamity. Qin Fading Wind couldn't react at all. He took out the red card from his pocket and muttered to himself awkwardly. This card can help young Xiaohan to eliminate a calamity in the third test. But, before I could give him the card, he was met with misfortune. Lung Ryu frowned slightly and looked at the void with her deep eyes. A calamity in one step? Is this the fate of being alone? She shook her head and said indifferently. Continue the game. Yaoxia Pagoda. The 29th floor. Xiao Mingchu, Dongfang Qin and Fang Ling all shouted indignantly. What's going on? Junior brother Xiaohan doesn't look like a person with declining luck. He rose from a living target to the current genius. Can be said that he has a flood of good fortune. Why did he encounter a calamity in one step? Could it be that Lung Ryu's great fate divine technique has a flaw? Xiao Mingchu grimaced. Heaven's devil old man and Zhu Ganglai also had a look of pity and regret. The extermination starlight calamity is very difficult to resist with young Xiaohan's cultivation realm. Heaven's devil old man said in a deep voice. Wu Yu's eyes revealed a thoughtful look and murmured, if it's a blessing, it's not a curse. If it's a curse, it can't be avoided. In fact, I don't want to see Xiaohan have a smooth journey. His fate should be filled with countless calamities, fortuitous encounters and fights. Objectively speaking, it's not a good thing if his fate is too smooth. Now let's see if Xiaohan can resist this disaster. In the closed temporary space, Xiaohan was floating in the void. It was as if he had arrived in a boundless starry sky. Sparkling and translucent star sand constantly flowed past him. Everywhere was filled with dreamy colors, and the artistic conception was faintly discernible and otherworldly. What is this place? Xiaohan was startled. After that, he became vigilant. I stepped on the calamity card and have to face a great calamity. Extermination starlight calamity. What is this? Xiaohan pondered as he walked in this mysterious space. However, he didn't find anything strange at the moment. His emotions gradually calmed down. When I was sucked into this temporary space, I felt many unfriendly gazes filled with schadenfreude. Those competitors can't wait for me to be crushed to death by this calamity. But I, Xiaohan, don't listen to them. They want me to die, but I won't. I've been tempered by the line between life and death several times. How can they understand my unwavering will? Xiaohan sneered. The panic and fear in his mind gradually faded. At this moment, boom, far away in front of him, a planet slowly rose up. This planet was wrapped in burning red clouds. The light of treasures shone in all directions. It was a spectacular sight. Endless starlight and dust swirled around. It was unimaginably beautiful. It couldn't be described with words. What kind of planet is this? Xiaohan was startled. At this moment, kaboom, kaboom, kaboom. Just as Xiaohan was in a state of confusion, the endless space in front of him suddenly cracked open. The immeasurably huge planet suddenly disintegrated, emitting a terrifying sound. Countless starlight surged and dust flew in all directions. It was as if a natural disaster had arrived. Earth, water, wind, and fire were roaring. Faintly, a supreme voice that seemed to have come from beyond the 9 heavens could be heard. Extermination starlight calamity. Puchi, 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 puchi. The planet disintegrated. Rays of extermination starlight that blinded one's eyes were fired at Xiaohan. Wherever the starlight passed by, the space exploded inch by inch. Life withered inch by inch. The airflow became chaotic and collapsed. Thunderous explosions sounded one after another. The power of every ray of starlight was enough to flatten a mountain and blow up the air within a radius of over 10 miles. It was like the fist of a devil, destroying the heavens and earth. Damn it. Xiaohan cursed. He knew that this extermination starlight calamity was the scariest attack he had ever encountered. No other. Between life and death, Xiaohan's body suddenly stopped moving. The heat flow of the indestructible golden body was activated to the extreme. Golden light gushed out. The power of his body was no longer suppressed. It was released completely. Every inch of his flesh and blood was shining brightly like stars. As his muscles and bones trembled, a terrifying sound like a collapsing mountain could be heard. "I'll take it." To be continued. Chapter 191. Xiaohan forcefully withstood this calamity. Starlight extermination calamity. Xiaohan was fully aware that his true qi cultivation would not be able to withstand it. If he used the powerful demonic monarch's palm and used 2 million cauldrons of pure strength to resist, he might be able to resist for a while. However, the starlight extermination was too dense. It was very likely that the demonic monarch's palm would be pierced through. After all, Xiaohan's demonic monarch's palm was incomplete. He had only awakened 20,000 demonic veins. It was still very young and could not display the demonic monarch's power. As for the 2 demonic techniques, they were stretched thin and could not be used. Sky demonic god bestowment could not seal off the billions of starlight extermination. Moreover, this temporary space would soon be filled with starlight extermination. It would be impossible to dodge. After thinking about it, the only way to deal with this calamity seemed to be the indestructible golden body. Xiaohan's mind was clear. He did not blindly dodge. He stood motionless and pushed the indestructible golden body to the extreme. Bone runes that looked like lotuses blossomed. Obscure and mysterious Sanskrit chants resounded. Xiaohan's body seemed to be gilded. Bang! Finally, the first starlight extermination fiercely smashed onto Xiaohan's body. This starlight extermination broke through all illusions and aimed straight at Xiaohan. It completely locked onto him, causing Xiaohan's body to shake violently. The heavens and earth trembled. The sound of stars disintegrating resounded endlessly. Its power was enough to split the heavens and earth and shatter the world. Poof! This starlight extermination exploded in the golden light that shot out from Xiaohan's body. 20% of its power was bounced off. The remaining power was crushed by Xiaohan's flesh shell and the indestructible golden body. In reality, each starlight extermination was formed by a meteorite. Once it exploded, it would turn into fine star sand and dust. It was crystal clear like a jewel, like gold and diamond. Even though Xiaohan had managed to block the extermination starlight, he was still shaken to the point of being dizzy. Before he could regain his senses, the second and third extermination starlight had already smashed towards him. Poof! Poof! These 2 beams of starlight exploded into an endless nebula vortex. Stardust flew everywhere and dust swirled everywhere. Xiaohan retreated several steps and spat out a small mouthful of blood. If not for the fact that Xiaohan's flesh shell had a strength of 800,000 ding and that his indestructible golden body had reached the 61st to 70th movement, which allowed him to reflect 20% of his attacks back, Xiaohan would have already been torn apart. Xiao, 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 more and more extermination starlight tore through the air and swept everything away. Ping! After enduring another 20 beams of destructive starlight, Xiaohan was thrown into the air, and the golden light around him dimmed and cracked. This is too terrifying. This power is too tyrannical. I will have to endure the heavenly might and calamity for an entire hour. Just thinking about it is terrifying. However, Xiaohan will not die here. Xiaohan flipped over and stood up straight. He shook his head and his whole body suddenly moved. He actually began to practice some strange movements. Those were the 1st to 70th movement of the indestructible golden body. At this moment of life and death, Xiaohan actually discarded all the distracting thoughts in his mind, quenched his fear, and ignored the destructive starlight that was bombarding him like a storm. He repeatedly practiced the 1st to 70th movement of the indestructible golden body. Very quickly, Xiaohan entered a state of no man and no self. There was no sorrow nor joy, and life and death did not matter to him. His movements were like floating clouds and flowing water, completed in one breath. Every movement was like a heavenly steed soaring through the sky. Every movement was like a divine stroke that coincided with the heavenly Tao. Following Xiaohan's practice, the golden light emitted by the indestructible golden body became brighter and brighter at a speed visible to the naked eye. It was like a golden fire was burning. The bones flickered incessantly. Life and death, endlessly multiplying and multiplying. Sanskrit chants resounded from all directions, as if a deity was chanting. Pung, 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 pung. The densely packed destructive starlight smashed towards Xiaohan and was crushed by his flesh shell and the indestructible golden body. Xiaohan's body kept shaking and swaying, but he did not feel sorrow nor joy. He did not let it get to his heart. He did not stop practicing the 1st to 70th movement of the indestructible golden body. Even though he was vomiting blood, he turned a deaf ear to it. More and more meteorites exploded, and the broken pieces of the stars wrapped around Xiaohan and seeped into the golden light, forming an unpredictable nebula and cold dust in the golden light. Pung, 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 pung. Time seemed to have become very long. The 1-hour calamity seemed to have been stretched into 10 years, 100 years, or even longer. After an unknown amount of time, Xiaohan's body was full of cracks, like a broken piece of jade. If it were not for the indestructible golden body, Xiaohan would have been broken into pieces by now. When Xiaohan's endurance reached a critical point, Xiaohan was stunned. He only felt that there was a new power growing in his body. The vitality of his flesh shell had been squeezed to the limit, and it seemed like it could collapse at any moment. But when this limit reached its limit, it actually bounced back. There was a new power growing in Xiaohan's body. What's more, something even stranger happened. The golden radiance of the indestructible golden body seemed to have refined the shattered meteorite fragments and the afterglow of the starlight. The endless star sand, cold dust, and dreamlike nebula seemed to be refined by the indestructible golden light of the indestructible golden body. Wisps of starlight began to fuse into Xiaohan's injured body, repairing the shocking cracks on the surface of Xiaohan's body. The strength of Xiaohan's flesh shell began to rise. Gradually, Xiaohan's body was stained with starlight, becoming dreamy and dazzling. It was like a treasure body. Outside, the game of fate was still ongoing. It was already the 2nd round. In the previous round, other than Xiaohan who had stepped on the tribulation card, his companions Fatty Zhu, Huofan, Xiao Yunrong, and Emo Qingtong had all hit the die of fate. It was lackluster. They did not step on the cards that the contestants dreamed of, such as prize cards or treasure cards, nor did they step on the cards that were as terrifying as nightmares. They could be considered to have walked steadily. It was calm. Fatty Zhu took 5 steps. Emo Qingtong took 6 steps. Xiao Yunrong took 5 steps. Huofan took 3 steps. During the process of the game, all the contestants would observe the virtual image of the ranking list floating in the air from time to time. They were all paying close attention to Xiaohan's name. After Xiaohan entered the temporary space and was baptized by the extermination starlight tribulation, his name on the ranking list gradually dimmed, like a candle in the wind that could be extinguished at any time. This made everyone know that Xiaohan's situation was precarious and that he was on the verge of collapse. However, there were a few times when Xiaohan's name seemed to wither and dim instantly, but it miraculously lasted. It never extinguished. It had a feeling of being old but immortal, declining but not dying. Why isn't that kid dead yet? The geniuses of the Yaoxia region were all secretly anxious. They could not wait for Xiaohan's name to immediately fade from the ranking list, causing him to die completely. His tenacity is really terrifying. Qin Shifeng stared at Xiaohan's name on the ranking list, his face full of amazement. More than half of the 1-hour tribulation time has passed, but he's still not dead. He's endured for so long. This kid is talented. If it were any other contestant, they would have turned into ashes long ago. They definitely wouldn't be able to hold on for so long. Yaoxia Pagoda. The 29th floor. Wu Yu, Heaven's Devil Old Man, and the others all stared at the ranking list. He's still holding on? Heaven's Devil Old Man said in shock. At this moment he's still not dead. Unbelievable. This young Xiaohan is really lucky. Even the extermination starlight tribulation can't kill him. Look, he's still alive. Every time his name is about to completely fade, he's able to snatch a chance of survival so that he doesn't fall. That's right. I remember now, junior brother Xiaohan cultivated a body refining technique that is very magical. When I brought junior brother Xiaohan to the ancient village to train, he couldn't adapt to the gravity of the ancient village at that time. Later, he relied on this body refining technique to forcibly endure it and slowly adapted to life in the ancient village. Could it be? Xiao Mingchu's expression changed. It can't be that abnormal, right? Could it be that junior brother Xiaohan is using the extermination starlight tribulation to refine his flesh shell? That abnormal? Using the extermination starlight tribulation to forcibly refine his flesh shell? Is he still human? Heaven's devil, old man said in horror. At this moment, it's lit up. Dongfang Qin suddenly roared and trembled with excitement. It's lit up. Junior brother Xiaohan's name is suddenly lit up. What? Everyone looked at it with rapt attention. On the virtual image of the notice, when Xiaohan's name was at its weakest and dimmest, it suddenly reversed and became resplendent like the stars, shining brightly. Not only did the name not fade, it's getting brighter and brighter. A strange light burst out from Wu Lu's eyes. Xiaohan seems to have had a fortuitous encounter again. Good. Very good. It's not a big deal if one's fate is smooth sailing. What's amazing is that in the midst of danger and tribulations, not only did he not die, but he also had a fortuitous encounter. This is defying heaven and changing fate. Third round examination venue. What? That Xiaohan's name is lit up. A large group of contestants who were staring at the virtual image of the notice cried out involuntarily. His name is getting brighter and brighter, so bright that it's dazzling. What's going on? Is there a problem with the notice? What? The aura is actually getting stronger and stronger? This is unbelievable. Qin Feng's face suddenly stiffened. This is? In Lung jade-like eyes, an expression of contemplation appeared. Inside the temporary space. Boom, 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 boom. More and more destructive starlight, with the power to destroy the world, violently swept across and smashed onto Xiaohan's body. However, the golden light emitted by the indestructible golden body became brighter and brighter. Not only did it shatter the destructive starlight, but it also refined the meteorite fragments, the dust, and the nebula. Xiaohan's strength also increased by leaps and bounds. From the shell strength of 800,000 ding, it had increased to 1,500,000 ding. It had almost doubled. After an unknown period of time, the destructive starlight finally stopped bombarding Xiaohan. The temporary space suddenly quieted down. Phew, is it over? Xiaohan let out a breath of turbid air. At this moment, Xiaohan's body was glowing. Although his clothes were ragged, he casually stood there. His entire temperament was as calm as the bright moon, extraordinary and refined. Endless starlight seeped out from under his skin, making him look like a god. At first glance, it seemed as if there was an endless circle of light enveloping him. In each circle of light, there were fine and dense star sand and cold dust rolling. The indestructible golden body, after refining the destructive starlight, it refined my flesh shell again. Not only did my strength almost double, but my flesh shell also has the taste of a star. The indestructible golden body is really unparalleled. No wonder it can seal the demon egg. Xiaohan slightly clenched his fist, and with a bang, the sound of a star exploding could be heard. At this time, the golden light of the indestructible golden body, with Xiaohan as the center, spread out for more than 10 meters. Moreover, in the golden light, there were gorgeous gas in the shape of clouds and dust. That was the nebula. In the nebula, there were densely packed meteorite fragments, emitting fragmented light, like the whole night sky full of stars. The nebula changed. Rays of light swirled around. Whirlpools appeared everywhere. Xiaohan's skin glowed with starlight, without a speck of dust or dirt, and his whole body was like a star. An eternal star wrapped in the nebula. With a slight movement, he was like a star shining, the sun and the moon in the sky, and the rivers flowing on the ground. His whole body's aura was really like the sun in the sky. Suddenly, a gap was torn open in the temporary space and a deep voice sounded. Congratulations, participant, you have successfully passed the Starlight Extinction Tribulation. Please return to the examination venue and continue the fate game. Chapter 192. In this temporary space, Xiaohan suffered the tribulation of starlight extermination. After an hour it felt like a year. Fortunately, the indestructible golden body released its divine power and refined a large amount of starlight extermination, allowing Xiaohan to complete the starlight tempering. The strength of his flesh shell soared to 1.5 million cauldrons, a great achievement. When Xiaohan was in the Southern Region qualifier, he encountered a seeded player, Zhou Feng of the Starlight Hall. Zhou Feng was also very talented. He used starlight to temper his body since he was young, making his whole body glitter with starlight. But today Xiaohan directly used the starlight to temper his body. He was many times more abnormal and tyrannical than Zhou Feng. 1.5 million cauldrons of flesh shell, comparable to the cubs of ancient divine beasts such as Swanee and Horned Dragon, right? Now, in terms of pure strength, I can definitely crush a bunch of humanoid beasts from the great wilderness. Xiaohan was also somewhat pleased. My flesh shell is like a star, like a meteorite, like an abyss, like the sea, comparable to a treasured weapon, indestructible. Mid-stage saber intent, 20,000 demon veins opened in the left arm of the demon, the arch palm, mysterious and unpredictable. Is really a little bit like killing gods and Buddhas blocking my way. Whoever dares to block my way in this demon hero qualifier, I'll kill them directly. However, Xiaohan sorted out his thoughts very soon. Using the spirit turtle's true chi, the nebula swirl around him, the mist-like streams of air, and the resplendent, cold dust were all sealed up. Even his extremely powerful shell of flesh was firmly sealed up. As a result, he looked very ordinary. Xiaohan stepped out of the space crack. He landed on his own rainbow bridge, 99 steps away from the other side. Boss, you're okay? Fatty Zhu turned around and roared at Xiaohan with wild joy. I was worried to death. Boss, you're really awesome. Even the Starlight Extermination Tribulation couldn't kill you. Truly able to swallow the 9 prefectures and sweep through the 8 desolates. Mo Qingtong, Xiao Yunrong and Huoyang looked back at Xiaohan at the same time, feeling relieved. Okay, I'm fine. Continue the game. Xiaohan smiled faintly. You're all ahead of me. I've only taken one step. It's hard to survive. Seeing Xiaohan's relaxed teasing, Mo Qingtong couldn't help but chuckle charmingly. He actually came out alive and kicking. Even this couldn't kill him? This person's life is like a stone in a latrine pit, smelly and hard. The younger generation of the Devil Hero region were all eager for Xiao Hanxing to die. Now that they saw Xiao Hanxing jumping out of the temporary space as if nothing had happened, his aura was stable, and he did not seem to be injured at all, let alone dead. They were all shocked and angry. The lower a person is, the harder their life is. But it didn't matter. The game of fate was still ongoing. Xiaohan had only taken one step. He was still far away from the other side. He stepped out with a calamity card, which meant that his luck was declining. Maybe there would be a punishing card, expelling card, or even a bad luck card waiting for him. Furthermore, once our people step on the Golden Supreme Ruler card, they can instantly kill Xiaohan, once and for all. Yes. Good lad. Although you have intentionally suppressed and concealed it, your spirit and aura have improved by leaps and bounds. You have actually turned a calamity into a fortuitous encounter. I also know a little about fate and luck. His fate seems to be dangerous, but it is actually able to turn danger into safety. He will probably be able to dominate the world in the future, crushing everything with his strength and conquering the mountains and rivers. Qin Fading Wind nodded secretly. Lung Ryu also took a deep look at Xiaohan. Her misty eyes revealed a look of deep thought. The game continued. At this moment, the game had entered the second round. In this round, a youth from the eastern domain with fair and tender skin, lofty temperament, and handsome to the point of causing one's hair to stand on end, actually stepped on 3 reward cards in a row, advancing several dozen steps, and finally ending this round with a treasure card. He was still 41 steps away from the other side. In his hand, he was holding an ancient fist scripture that he had just obtained. He casually flipped through it and his entire person showed a domineering aura. This person was also quite a character. When he flipped through the fifth scripture, he seemed to have gained some kind of enlightenment. Essence floated in his eyes, and there were streams of true chi in his pupils. His entire aura became more and more mellow, and there was almost no flaw to be found. Fatty Zhu turned around and said to Xiaohan in a low voice, "Boss, the guy who stepped on 3 reward cards in a row, got a purple aura, got a treasure, and got a fifth scripture is the #1 genius in the eastern region, Zhangsun Wuheng. It is said that the Zhangsun clan is the most mysterious clan in the eastern region, a behemoth. The Zhangsun clan is the most monstrous existence in this generation. No one in the younger generation of the eastern region can match them. The east region is more prosperous than the south region. Zhangsun Wuheng's reputation as a genius is much more worthy of being one of the top 10 seeded players in the south region's qualifiers." "Yes, I understand." Xiaohan nodded lightly. At this moment, it was the turn of the contestant on Rainbow Bridge number 1230 to hit the die of destiny. It was a young girl dressed in white clothes like flying snow. She had delicate eyebrows, white teeth, and red lips, but her entire aura was extremely stern. The scene of late autumn appeared above her head. The clear stream was cold, the reed flowers were fluttering, yellow leaves were falling, and the cold crows were chirping in the forest. She came from the Yaoxia region, was less than 20 years old, and was extremely talented. Moreover, she was the most beautiful and charming among the genius girls of the Yaoxia region who came to participate in the Yaoxia preliminaries. She was the object of love and pursuit of many genius youths. However, she had a special liking for her eldest senior brother and her heart was secretly in love with him. At this moment, it was her turn to hit the die of destiny. Her expression was excited as she looked at her eldest senior brother, who was sitting cross-legged on the other side of the river and meditating with his eyes closed. She thought to herself, "Eldest senior brother, I will definitely work hard and be the second to reach the other side to reunite with you. I want to prove that I, Shangguanlinger, am worthy of you, eldest senior brother." Shangguanlinger slowly separated a wisp of mental energy and directly hit the die of destiny. Whoosh, rays of light shot out. A 6 was hit. "Please take 6 steps forward." Shangguanlinger carefully took a step forward and looked at her eldest senior brother on the other side of the river with gentle eyes. Just as she took her 6th step, boom, a ray of golden light shot up to the sky. In all directions, auspicious clouds and auspicious chi could be seen, and a rain of flowers could be seen. Moreover, the sound of immortal music could be heard. Congratulations, participant. You've obtained a sovereign card. This card is supreme, like a sovereign descending to the world. It allows you to have the power to decide life and death. You can kill any participant who is still on the Rainbow Bridge and hasn't reached the other side of the river yet. May I ask which contestant do you want to kill? Whoosh, the audience was in an uproar. Then there was the sound of people gasping. Then there was dead silence. Supreme Ruler card. You can kill a contestant at will. This is simply an invincible card. You can control others like fish on the chopping block, waiting to be slaughtered. In an instant, Shangguanlinger felt a thrill of controlling the fate of others. The feeling of being superior was very subtle and captivating. She held the golden card in her hand and slowly turned around. She first squinted her eyes and then opened them. She looked at all the contestants with a satisfied gaze. Every contestant's face turned green when they met Shangguanlinger's gaze. They trembled in fear and were afraid that Shangguanlinger would kill them. Finally, Shangguanlinger's gaze fell on Xiaohan. Junior sister Shangguan. Kill him. That's great. Junior sister Shangguan, you actually stepped on a golden Supreme Ruler card. This is the first Supreme Ruler card produced since the start of the game. Power of life and death. Junior sister Shangguan, kill Xiaohan. Take revenge for our people. Shangguanlinger covered her mouth and laughed. She made a gurgling sound and looked at Xiaohan. Xiaohan, right? Do you have the feeling that heaven's net is wide but not wide open? Ah. She laughed like a flower. In the second stage, you had no taboo and actually dared to kill people from our Devil Hero region. You are courting death, do you know that? Just now, you stepped on the Tribulation card and encountered the Starlight Extinction Tribulation. You should have died but you survived. Your life is very tough, but it's useless. Shangguanlinger's face became somewhat sinister. Look, I have the Supreme Ruler card in my hand. I can kill whoever I want. Now I want you to die. Are you feeling indignant? Even the Starlight Extinction Tribulation couldn't kill you, but you died under a small golden card. This is fate. This is your fate. Your fate is over. Phew! The other contestants all heaved a sigh of relief. They looked at Xiaohan with schadenfreude and thought in their hearts, this time Xiaohan is dead for sure, right? Bitch. Xiaohan was furious. He was currently restrained by the power of fate on the Rainbow Bridge and could not move at all. Otherwise, he would definitely jump over and tear Shangguanlinger into pieces. Don't kill my boss. Fatty Zhu wailed. Don't kill my boss, I beg you. Please don't kill Xiaohan. Mo Qingtong, Xiao Yunrong and Hua Fan begged in unison. Shangguanlinger completely ignored the pleas of Fatty Zhu and the others. She flicked the golden Supreme Ruler card in her hand and said viciously, I will use this card to completely kill the contestant on Rainbow Bridge number 511, Xiaohan. Kill. Destroy his soul and consign him to eternal damnation. Never to reincarnate. Boom, that golden card directly transformed into a golden light of absolute death. It could easily destroy 1,000 armies and kill people and ghosts. It directly locked onto Xiaohan and blasted out. The golden light was like an evil dragon, surging and roaring, obliterating everything from yesterday. Ah. No. Xiaohan's companions all cried out in alarm. In a flash. Swish, a red card shot out from Chen Fengchen's hand. It transformed into a red dragon and directly crashed into the golden light. 2 by 2. This? Xiaohan escaped death and looked at Chen Fengchen. An idea flashed through his mind. Ah, I got it. It's that red card. I found the red card in the second stage. I can get help in the third stage. That's great. At this moment, Xiao Han's face was covered in cold sweat. His gaze was sinister as he looked at Shangguan Linger, and a sinister smile appeared on his face. Bitch, you will definitely die. Remember, once you fall into my hands, I will directly shatter you. Damn it. What's going on? Are you openly breaking the rules of the game? The people on the side of the Wuxia region roared in dissatisfaction. Qin Fengqian and Leng Ryu exchanged glances. This is fate. Leng Ryu smiled faintly. In the second trial, this young man found the only red card, and was promised help in the third trial. You can think of this as a young man who has encountered danger in his life, and a benefactor will lend a helping hand. Everything has a cause and effect. If the youth did not find the red card in the second stage, he would have died and been directly obliterated. Alright, this is also a part of the game. You don't have to argue. Also, youth, you have already used this red card that represents luck. Next time, if someone draws the sovereign card and wants to obliterate you, you will not be able to escape. This is also fate. Phew, I understand. Xiao Han heaved a long sigh of relief. He looked at Shangguan Linger with a venomous gaze. Shangguan Linger's eyes were filled with disappointment. She glared at Xiao Han and turned her head away. The game continued. One by one, the contestants hit the die of destiny to determine their luck. During this period, there were also some expulsion cards, unlucky cards, reward cards, punishment cards. Some contestants were already slowly approaching the shore. It was Fatty Zhu's turn to hit the die of destiny again. Fatty Zhu hit a 6 uneasily. After taking 6 steps forward, a white light appeared under his feet. He actually stepped on a reward card that rewarded him with 20 steps forward. After taking 20 steps, another reward card appeared. However, this time it only rewarded him with 5 steps. After walking, Fatty Zhu took a total of 36 steps. He was still 64 steps away from the shore. Fatty, not bad. Xiao Han could not help but cheer for Fatty Zhu. Fatty Zhu chuckled foolishly. Next was the round. Phew, Xiao Han exhaled a mouthful of turbid air. He thought to himself, I won't be so unlucky this time, right? When the mental wave hit the die, another 1 point appeared. It was exactly the same as the previous round. This made him not know whether to laugh or cry. One had to take steps to reach the other side. It was too painful and aggrieving for someone like Xiao Han to take 1 step at a time. He was like a snail and seemed to be at a huge disadvantage when competing with the other contestants. Damn it. Xiao Han cursed inwardly, but there was nothing he could do. He could only take a step forward obediently. Just as his feet landed, boom! A golden light soared into the sky. The golden card evaporated. Heavenly flowers fell. Golden lotus gushed out of the ground. Drums rang in harmony. Congratulations, participant, you've obtained an exalted sovereign card. This card is supreme and it's like a sovereign descending to the world. It allows you to obtain a single right to decide life and death. You can do as you please and kill any participant that is still on the bridge and hasn't reached the other side. May I ask, which contestant do you want to kill? Xiao Han held the golden sovereign card in his hand. He was stunned for a moment before he laughed maniacally. Ha! Wow! How satisfying! How satisfying! Just now, someone had used this supreme sovereign card to threaten him, saying that he was going to kill him. Although he had luckily escaped death in the end, he still felt very uncomfortable in his heart. He felt extremely sullen, and he had a belly full of anger that he had no way to vent. Now, he had actually obtained a supreme sovereign card. It immediately satisfied my desire to seek revenge for the smallest grievance. At that moment, the faces of the younger generation of the Wuxia region instantly turned green. B*TCHE, what did you say just now? Right. Don't you feel the same way now? How dare you try to kill me? Now I will return the favor. Xiao Han looked at Shangguan Linger with a hideous smile. No. Don't kill me. You can't kill me. Shangguan Linger completely broke down. She did not have a red luck card that could block death. Now that Xiao Han had the golden card, she would die if he wanted her to. How dare you? Xiao Han, you can't kill junior sister Shangguan. If you dare to do this, it is tantamount to declaring war on the younger generation of the Wuxia region. Xiao Han, don't make a mistake. You seem to be happy to kill junior sister Shangguan now, but have you thought about how to deal with the aftermath? Nonsense. All of you shut up. I don't have so many twists and turns. I will definitely take revenge. Xiao Han stared with his eyes wide open. When this B*TCH wanted to kill me just now, why didn't you jump out and say something? Now that it is her turn to die, you can't sit still anymore? Let me tell you, she will definitely die today. Eldest senior brother? Save Linger. Eldest senior brother? Shangguan Linger burst into tears. The eldest senior brother, who was sitting cross-legged on the other side, had a calm temperament. His eyes were tightly closed. He spoke in an extremely ethereal tone, with a kind of gentleness that could enlighten the people of the world. Enough. Xiao Han, right? No more killing. In the second round, maybe our people were too strong and forced you to kill them. Alright, today I, Garen, promise that as long as you let my junior sister Shangguan go, the younger generation of the Yaoxia region will not cause you any trouble in the future. Those junior brothers and junior sisters who died in your hands, we will not pursue it. Today let me, Garen, come forward and resolve this grudge. What do you think? What he said was reasonable, but there was also a hint of charity and pity in his tone. Xiao Han was stunned. The eldest senior brother's aura was ethereal, and his whole body was covered with jewels and treasures. Xiao Han, I, Garen, am a man of my words. I said I will let you go today, and I will definitely let you go. I will control my junior brothers and junior sisters so that they will not pester you. What do you think? I think you are also a talent. Maybe in the future we will have the opportunity to work together to kill the demon clan. Today give me some face. Leave a way out for everything and we will meet again in the future. Yes, that woman will not die. Xiao Han will not be able to kill that woman. Now that things have come to this, Xiao Han will definitely stop while he is ahead. Yes. It is impossible for a normal person to continue this hatred. It was not easy to find a way out, so let's go down the slope. I think Xiao Han definitely did not deliberately offend and kill those people from the Yaoxia region. He must have been forced to do so. In fact, he is also extremely afraid of the revenge of the younger generation of the Yaoxia region. After all, the Yaoxia region is powerful and no one can compete with them. This eldest senior brother is an invincible figure, and his luck covers the sky. There will not be any disasters in his life. Xiao Han will never be able to defeat him. Now that eldest senior brother has personally spoken, Xiao Han will give him face. In fact, this is eldest senior brother giving Xiao Han a chance. Do you understand? If Xiao Han dares to kill that woman, he will not be able to escape death, so it is better to give up now. Ah! Xiao Han suddenly laughed wildly. Hypocrite. Moreover, you do not see the situation clearly. What you're saying sounds like you're giving me, Xiao Han, something out of charity. In this Yaoxia trial, the winner is king and the loser is the bandit. If I don't kill you, you will kill me. What you said now is like a gift to me. And you still keep saying that you will let me go? Do I, Xiao Han, need you to let me go? Also, you want me to give you face? I will give you face. If I give you face, who will give me face? If it was not for that red lucky card just now, I would have already turned into ashes. Kill. Obliterate the contestant on Rainbow Bridge 230. As soon as Xiao Han's voice fell, the golden card in his hand turned into a golden light, annihilating everything and gently swept. Puff! Shangguan Linger did not even have the time to scream, and her whole body turned into ashes, leaving nothing behind. The muscles at the corner of eldest senior brother's eyes twitched wildly, as if he wanted to open his eyes. To be continued. You're tuning in to the Han Li's Wuxia Chronicles YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.